Morning. Hope you're all up and about this morning. I'm sorry I'm running late. It's 100% my fault. I don't have a watch anymore, and I was changing my bed and all sorts and forgot the time. Hi Sarah. Sarah Mundy, you'll be the first to read. Ben, hi Ben. Yeah, it is afternoon now. I was late. Shirley's next. Annalise Mountain. Right, Laura. Let me just let Sheila know you first, guys, because she will then catch up, and I'm just putting you in order because or else I'll lose you. Annalise Mountain and Laura Ormston. Right. How are you all this fine Sunday? She's caught up with me. Sarah, I don't know if I've read for you before, but if I haven't, welcome. Obviously it's just a mini reading, but it gives you an idea of what's going on. But your grandmother, I assume she's your grandmother, steps in, and she says she's not any ordinary grandma. This particular lady was very, very smart. She dressed smart. She had a lot of good things about her, but she was like an official woman. Does that make sense? Anyway, you can't answer me because I won't see it. Sarah, let's see what the cards have got to say for you. I'm shuffle reading. You can see what I'm doing. Right, Sarah, there's a celebration and a new beginning coming for you. Now, the new beginning is one of fantasies, okay? It's a good one, but you've got a pregnancy around you as well that you're going to find out about very soon, all right? It's going to be within the year, all right? But it's going to be close enough for it to feature heavily, okay, in your life. I see money's a bit of a mess, but it probably is for all of us. But you are getting more in control of it. But you're fed up with people bickering around you. And you need to start writing lists down as well, because you're forgetting stuff. And there's something in particular that you're missing. There's an appointment or something that you haven't written down that you're going to miss if you don't look for it, okay? I'm being told that's very important. And there's a moving on card, which as much as moving on, it's moving on in the situation, but it's also as a result of some bitching, some backstabbing behind your back. And this allows you to move on, whether that's moving on in your friend groups or what, I don't know, but it's a moving on, okay? Now the idea is that you have to leave the past problems behind to get to the new beginning, all right? But you've got the new beginning there, and it's showing itself as very prevalent, all right? I see that you're quite private, and you like to keep, if you have problems you deal with them, but you like to keep them very much under wraps. So you are quite a private person, Sarah. I see that as well. But I hope that makes sense to you, and I'll get an angel card for you. For you, we have Adriana. I'm leading you toward the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts and dreams. Okay, sweetheart, I hope that makes sense to you. And I'll leave her love with you, okay? Ben, hi Ben. I hope you're well. Ben, the money's improving for you, so it's going to be a better job or something coming up. You're with your soulmate, which is good. I see that. And I see you're becoming more aware of spirits. So you're going to see a lot more spirits, or be aware of them, or feel them more than you ever have done. Now that could be potentially as a result of who we know is just passed, I don't know, but you're going to become more aware of it. It's going to be, I mean, it is, the veil is thinning for all of us anyway, but it is more of an awareness now, okay? You've got depression there though, Ben. You're struggling with your mental health. I can see that can be an issue at times. You've got good news. You've got good news. You've got a path. You come to a crossroads, and you've got two ways to go, okay? And you're not 100% sure which way to go, but you have to trust in your gut instinct, because you will take the right path, okay? Money's definitely improving for you, so whichever way you go, it's going to improve your financial gain, all right? And I see that you worry because you've been cheated on in the past and you have issues with that. I see that, but I see you also moving on, all right? And moving on is a warning card in that it tells you need to leave the past behind you, and you have to leave other people's problems that affected you in the past as well, all right? You're another private person. You like to keep what goes on in your house behind closed doors. If you've got problems, you like to keep them private, all right? You're a private person. And I see you more in control of your money than you have been for a while. So things are getting better for you, Ben, in that respect. For you, I have Rochelle. As you honour and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Right, I think that's where the thing is. You've got to follow your heart on your choice. You've got two choices, and you will need to follow your gut reaction to where you're going to go. You will get there, and you'll make the right decision, but you have to trust it. Right, I just wanted to know, Sheila's telling me I need to acknowledge that they're waiting. You're waiting in a. They're waiting. We're just writing names down first, okay? Shirley Egerton. Nice to see you again, Shirley. Shirley, you've got pregnancy coming around you and your family or close friends as it is, but close enough, as I say, and I keep saying this, close enough for it to be quite a thing in your life. But I'm also seeing this, I understand there's a lot of lockdown babies, I get that, but it seems to be an awful lot of pregnancies coming out in these readings just recently. I'm assuming it's having far too much time together, or coming together after a long time. Now I've also got the Chariot for you, Shirley, and that means you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas, all right? It is time for you to do that, and you need to feel powerful in your ability to do that, all right, Shirley? But you're not very patient. You like things to happen now, and sometimes life isn't like that, and you're going to be spending a bit of pennies on somebody, a youngster. This person's going to be under 20, but they're going to be after you for pennies. It might be that they're not after you for pennies, it might be that you decide to choose to spend money on them, but there is a financial outlay there. I see you're worried about an older lady with some health problems. Your own I want to say your mother, but she probably isn't your mother, she's probably your grandmother, but she stood behind you. So that's why I faltered on that, because I wasn't sure if she was already in spirit, because she's coming as a very mothering love, all right? So I wasn't quite sure, so that's why I faltered on it, all right? It might be you're worried about your own health. But I'm not seeing anything bad happening, Shirley, so please don't worry. It doesn't have a bad outcome that I can see. I see that you are a good mother, you like to look after people, which is lovely. And I see that you are very, very independent, fiercely independent. You try and do things on your own. You don't want any help, you don't ask for help, and you don't expect it, that's for sure. Okay, but I am seeing you turning away from the good things about you. Alright, which is quite a tough place to be. And I'm also seeing you worrying what others think, and my favourite saying is chuck it and fuck it bucket, and I think that's something you need to adopt. Alright, because I put a post up this morning, I think, and it was very, very true. I think it was on my private account though, and I said, you know, at the end of the day, their opinions don't pay the bills. Fuck them. Alright, I see that you've got karma, so you believe in karma, what goes around comes around, and you are going to get your good karma, alright, because you waited for it. It's about time your luck changed. For you, I have Astara. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. Alright, Shirley, I think that's important for you to know, alright? Annalise Mountain. Annalise, a lady with a sharp tongue behind you, who's sometimes quite critical, is driving you mad. But it's like I want to say, she's almost responsible for your own criticalness on yourself. So you are very critical, you try and deal with your ideas, deal with your problems and that, but you also criticise yourself for having them in the first place. You know, you're dealing with them. Who gives a toss, really? I see that you're trying to save money up, but you're not very good at it. That's the important thing to remember. There is a soulmate coming for you, my darling. I think it's about time. And I see that there's an older man who gives you good advice, but you don't listen. All right, and I can see him trying to almost influence some stuff here. There is the sun, which is a lovely new beginning. It's about starting again, knowing what you know now. So it's like a new beginning, but with the added benefit of intelligence or of knowledge or of knowing what's going forward. All right. And I see that there's money improving for you as well, my darling, so that's great news. And I see that you're worried about an older mother or an older grandmother's health. Please don't worry, Annalise, it's going to be fine, okay? I'm not seeing anything bad happening to them. I love that you've got a soulmate. Right. Annalise, you're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision, all right? You'll be aware of what that is. I can't tell you what that is relating to, but you will know, all right? Next, I have Laura Ellen Ormston. Hi, Laura. I hope you're well. Laura, you're another one not very good at saving up. You try, but you're chaotic. There's a man here who's an older man with a sharp tongue, a critical man who's got a lot to say about what you do and how you do it, okay? And I'm seeing him as being quite gobby at times, but I see that you've been through the worst, all right? You've got the death card, which is a great card. It means that you've been through the worst. You're coming to a better place right now, all right? You've got an older man in spirit who keeps an eye open for you as well, sweetheart, Laura. And I see him as well. And I see that you've got a youngster around you with a sharp tongue, Laura. When I say a youngster, they're up to the age of 20, but they're a bit of a bugger. They say, oh, they shout a lot or whatever, but I've also got the Chariot, and the Chariot says that you are in a position where you're ready to go on with your plans and ideas and things you want to do. You just need to do it, and it's only your own insecurity that takes you forward, okay? And I see that the World, you've got the World, and the World is such a great card. It's the best card in the pack, and it says that everything's getting better for you. It's all working out, okay? So that's brilliant, Laura. You've been through the worst. Alright, you can't get much better than that. It's a really good reading. But I do see that you are very, very stubborn and you refuse to see the good things about you, which is quite a tough place to be. And I hope you can change that. I know it's difficult and sometimes, you know, life throws us apples in it. But you know what you do? You make apple pie. I think it's meant to be lemons, but hey ho, made it up. And for you, Laura, I have victory. Meager. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Alright, so you're coming through the worst and you're getting to where you want to be. Alright. Next we have Jenny Sanders. Jenny. Jenny, you got a sharp tongue nipper around you as well. They're under 20, so it's somebody who worries you because they'll say things and they're critical and they just like, oh, just like, did that come out of their mouth, sort of thing. And I see that you're getting some people out your life, but it's for a positive reason, all right? So when you do, as much as you'll struggle with it and you'll think, oh God, you know, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, you are absolutely doing the right thing. You have to believe in it, all right? They're negatives, negative vipers, energy vipers, and you've got temptation. So you're tempted to change something. Now, whether that's in a relationship or in a home or in work or what, I don't know. You will be the best person to say about that. But you are tempted to change something. It's a temptation. There's the angel and the devil, all right? And I see someone, a partner or someone close to you, who's very, very calm. Got a lot of good things about him, but slightly boring. Certainly not a bad boy or girl. And I see you dealing with your problems one at a time, which is you've had to learn to do, because I can see there's quite a deep depression coming in there somewhere as well, Jenny, and I imagine that's been quite hard to deal with, but you are getting there, all right? I can see that. I can see that you've had to learn how to break everything down and make everything more accessible or more easy to deal with. Okay, and for you, angel card I have Rosetta. You have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping, teaching, or parenting children. I hope that makes sense to you, my sweet. And the next one we have is Jade Seeley. Hi, Jade. Jade, there's a warning card here that says somebody's going to come to you asking to borrow money. Now, if you've got, you would give this person your last 2 pence. This isn't somebody that you would just brush off. But what it is a warning card, because it's saying if you give them that your last 2 pence, or you give that money to them, you may never see that money again. So if you choose to do that, that's up to you. But I can tell you they're not entirely telling you the entire truth. So they're not as skint as they will say they are. All right. And I see somebody's causing trouble behind your back, and that's causing you issues. And I can see, Jade, that you worry what other people say, and I can see that's an issue as well, and that you've got this kind of thing about judgment, that people are judging you, and this won't help with this backstabbing crap that's going on around you as well. But you'll find out about it. It's not going to give you a day's worry. All right, just let it go over the top of your head. Whoosh. All right. Other people who know you well enough will know it's crap. I see you always in the middle trying to keep the peace, and you don't understand how this would come about. But sometimes it does, my darling, and we have no control over it. But I see you're more in control of your money than you used to be, and you've got an older lady around you who is a traditional old lady. She's a traditional grandmother. She's very, very tiny, but she's giving you lots of love right now. And for you, angel card, we have Bethany. When you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat today, such as a massage, sea salt bath, or pedicure. All right, my darling. Next, I have little Callum. Hello, sweetheart. I hope you're good. Don't know why he's awake. Callum. Callum, you've got control issues, OCD. You like to be in control of things. You like to be in control of your emotions. You like to be in control of other people's as well. You like to look after people. You're one of life's carers. You like to look after people and do the right things by people. And you've got an older lady with a sharp tongue around you. That's probably could be one of you, yeah, anyone. But I can see that as well, somebody who upsets you sometimes. And I can see you being stubborn and refusing to see the good things about you, which I see in you every day. And as much as I know you are a marvellous young man, and I know you've absolutely got so much to give, but you have to believe it yourself, because sometimes you don't see the good in you. And I see that, and I know that others around you do too. So, trust that we all see it. We all see how good you are. All right? And I see that there's new beginnings for you. It's all about starting again and knowing what you know now. It's feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, all right? So it's going to be a good beginning, Callum. It really is. But you've got to kind of deal with your things. And when problems come up or worries come up, you have to deal with them. And you deal with them one at a time. Don't let them snowball, all right? Talk to people. Talk to me if you have to. Talk to your dad. Talk to anyone you like. You have new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer and meditation. Callum is actually very, very psychic, and he does really, really well. And I do teach him, and he does very, very well, but he doesn't always engage. But when he does, it's good. All right, Callum, I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. Next one we have is Vicky Gates. Vicky, you're another one tempted to change things. You're at a situation in your life where you want things to move. You don't like things to stay fluid. You've got the Hermit, which I always feel a bit fraud at the moment saying that, because everyone's staying in too much. But the Hermit's more than that. The Hermit is actually a wizard, and he's got plans and ideas and knows where he wants to go. And I think that's something that you need to focus on, because you have that. You have those plans and ideas and things you want to do. And I see there's a sharp-tongued woman behind you. There's a little bit of control here with you. I'm getting 2 out of 4 control cards. So you, Vicky, you have a few control issues, or you like to be in control, or possibly got OCD. All right. And I see, oh, I'm throwing cards around. You've got someone around you who's really, really calm, who's very, very clever, and who's got a lot of nice things about them, but is potentially quite boring. They're between 20 and 40. Alright, and certainly not a bad person. There is control, definite control. I keep getting control cards. And you, again, you've got a beginning of the sun. So that means it's all about starting again, but knowing what you know now. So it's a good place to be. Alright. And I see that you're more in control of your money than you used to be. But I don't know if you're aware, Vicky, but you've got a gypsy roots in there somewhere. So you come from gypsy stock, all right? So how that will affect you is you like to change things. So you might want to change colours or in your house, or change your lounge around or your kitchen round. Oh, you can't really change your kitchen, but you know, your bedroom, you like to change stuff around. And I see that you make out you're strong when you don't feel it, and that's been particularly this week. It's been quite a tough week for you, Vicky, but you know what, you come through it. You're more in control of your money than you used to be. You're budgeting. You're doing okay, darling. Just believe in yourself, because others do. All right. For you, I have Melina. You're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. All right, my darling. And I will leave their love with you, because you've got a child in spirit, a little girl. I don't know if you're aware, she was never born. She may not be yours, she could be your family's, all right? But she's around you a lot, all right? Next, I have Rhea. Hi, Rhea. Good to see you. Oh, I've got to sit up, my back's hurting. Right, Rhea. You're worried about your health. Why are you worried about your health? And you're worried about your mum's health as well. Why are you worried about everyone's health? Rhea, you're becoming one of life's worriers. What's going on, my darling? Money is improving for you, which is good. So that's always good to see. All right. And I do see that that's going to result in either you or your partner getting a better job, or something that's going to increase money coming in. All right. So that's good. And I'm seeing that with 2 different cards as well. So that is very, very strong. Potentially, it could be both of you. So we'll see. But I see you laying awake at night worrying about everyone else's problems. You can't fix everyone, my darling. And I see there's an older man who gives you good advice, but you don't always listen. All right. Now go to the doctors, get that checked out. You're worried about. I can see that happening, and I can see that you're kind of putting stuff off. Just go and get it sorted. I know it's hard to get a doctor's appointment these days. And I see that you worry about being cheated on because it's happened in the past. I can see that being a problem. But this whole laying awake, so you're not sleeping particularly well at the moment, Rhea. I see that as being something that potentially you could do with something to just help you sleep for a little while, all right? Isabella, yes, the timing's right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. Well, that makes sense, because we had the fact that you were going to have money improving on both sides of the fence for you and potentially your partner as well. So that's good news. So there you go. I'll leave everyone's love with you. Grandma, I'll pat you on the head. I think you know what I mean. Jade Williams. Jade, you've still got to write stuff down. I think I've told you this before. I don't remember these readings. It's very, very hard. And people say to me, what did you read? What did you read? I don't know. Once I've read it, it's gone. Even on one-to-ones, once I've read it, it's gone. It's not something that stays with me. But occasionally I'll remember a snippet. All right? Don't ask me what your reading was after, because I won't have a clue. Right, I've got you not seeing the good things about you, Jade. I see that as being an issue. But you know what? You've got control of your problems, and as much as you even though you've got control of your problems, you're very, very private, and you try not to let people see that you've even had them in the first place. So I see that as being something that you're working on. There is going to be a pregnancy around you. I think we've spoken about this before, Jade. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be close. And I see you being more in control of your own problems than you have been for a long time. And there is a sharp-tongued woman behind you who, when I say sharp-tongued, she's not scared of saying what she means or what she thinks. And there is a move in the offing, but this move may not be home, but it's a warning card in that it says you have to leave other people's problems behind to get to that new beginning where you want to be. All right? So I can see that as being something that's in the pipeline. I see you're trying to keep an eye on your money all the time. So you're keeping an eye on your finances. You've got control of them, and you're checking the bank all the time, which is cool. All right, I don't think that's a bad thing. At least you know what's going in and out. And there is a relationship improving, which is big. It's obviously been something that's been an issue, or possibly a new one, but it's something certainly that needs to sort out. And for you, I have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels for help. Gain a positive perspective. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. Next, Michelle Wadey. Hi, darling. I hope you're well, my beautiful. Michelle is a beautiful friend who I very much enjoy being friends with her when we ever get together, which isn't often enough. Michelle, you're still worried about that one that's driving you mad, the one that rushes into things without thinking, still driving you mad. And I see this backstabbing going on behind your back somewhere. Okay, you will become aware of it. I think it's probably in the workplace. All right, there's one particular person who says a lot, just a lot of shit. They chat shit. And I see that being something that's you're going to find out about, but don't worry about it. I see that you're your own worst enemy, so you are critical on yourself, and even more so at the moment. Go easy on yourself. And I see that you're staying in too much, but we all are. But you've got plans and ideas and things you want to do, which is great. And the Chariot tells me you need to go ahead with them. All right, so why are you holding back? You've got these ideas, go for it. Don't allow insecurities to hold you back, darling. All right, because you are one of life's, I can see you've got the Hangman, you are one of life's warriors, and you are allowing yourself to be put on a cross and allow people to throw tomatoes at you. You know, don't, go easy on yourself. And I see that you're a believer in karma. What goes around comes around, and karma will happen, okay? And it's going to happen very, very soon. And I've got you being more in control of your money, which is a good thing. And enjoying working, actually, considering the grief you're going through, connecting to these people. And I see that you're a good mum, even though you don't think you are. And I believe you're a grandmother as well. Let's find a card for you, Michelle. Michelle, I have, which completely goes against what I just said. Conditions aren't favourable right now. Wait or look into other options and ask the angels to help, guide and comfort you. I don't think this is connected to what we've been talking about. I think this is connected to something else, and you'll be aware of what it is. Alright? Andrea Julie Weller. Please bear with us. Sometimes it takes us an hour to get round to your readings because we're working through the list, and in the first 5 minutes we get like 37 people comment. So we have to work through the list, and obviously every reading takes time. Right, okay, you've got money improving for you, Andrea, which is good. I see you're much more calm than you used to be. You're more spiritual. You believe in the earth, and you believe that nature supports us the same as I do. But what you don't see is you don't see good in the past. So when you think of the past, you think of all the failures, not the successes. And I want to tell you to turn that round, turn that shit round. At the end of the day, you need to trust in the good as well as, okay? You need to see both, because there is an equal amount of both. You just don't see it, all right? And I see that you're very impatient and you want things to happen now, all right? But you've got the very top card of happy families, Andrea, and that you can't ask for better than that. I see you enjoy doing what you do, and I see you being more in control of money than you have been for a while, which is great. I do see you getting some people out of your life, though, Andrea, and this is going to be all to do with a big move on. Now, whether this is a move of home or move of work or move on in your situation, I'm not sure, but it is a warning card, and it's telling you that you need to let go of other people's problems to get to the new beginning that you want to be at, all right? And that's quite important, I think, certainly with what I'm seeing. And I'm also seeing the Chariot, which tells me go ahead with it, go ahead with your ideas, do what you want to do. Alright, don't let insecurities hold you back. But there is a sharp-tongued male behind you, when I say sharp-tongued, he's critical, and sometimes you kind of worry about upsetting him. But I'm saying to you, my darling, you know what you're doing. You know your truth in this, and there is a pregnancy going to be revealed around you within the year, all right? Or else it wouldn't be coming round. For you, Andrea, I have Uriel. Your emotions are healing, which enables you to open to greater love. I'll help you release anger and unforgiveness from your heart and mind. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Alright, my darling. Brian Crump. Crikey, you're awake. Same as me. He was with us last night at the Ghost Hunt. How's your scratch? Brian got scratched last night at Knoll Cemetery in the Human Pendulum. Right. Oh, dropping stuff. So you're a bit chaotic at the moment. You're a bit all up in the air, my sweet. Right, you're in bugger for. There's going to be somebody coming to you to ask to borrow money, and it's a warning card because it says if you can afford to lose the money, that's fine. If it's somebody that's very, very close, like a loved one, like one of your own, and you're aware, then that's absolutely fine too. But it is saying to you that if you do give the money out, you won't see it back in return, okay? So this is, if you can afford to lose it, absolutely do it. If you can't afford to, I mean, it might even be a small amount. It might even be a £5. All right. I see you're moving on in your situation too. You're moving on to new pastures, new whichever way it is. But again, you have to leave the past, other people's problems behind from the past to allow for that new beginning that you really desperately want. And I see you worrying what others think, and that's why you sat in this position for so long, because you worried what other people think. And I want to say to you, you know, you chuck it in the fuck it bucket. It doesn't matter. Alright, you have control of your problems. You are looking out on the past, but you're seeing it in a negative way. You're not seeing it as fertile, you're seeing it as not good. You're seeing as all the bad parts, and you need to start focusing on some of the good as well. And your grandfather steps forward and puts his hand on your shoulder, and I think that's very important. You know that. Alright, now I'm assuming he's a grandfather. He's certainly coming across that way, and I would suggest he's probably on your mother's side. Alright, now he said money's a bit of a mess at the moment, but you're going to get a new job, or there's going to be an increase in money, finances, one way or the other, whether that's more work or what, I'm not sure. But you're also going to find out about a pregnancy around you, so that's going to happen as well in the next year, my darling. And I see that you're worried about a youngster, potentially under 20, who's got Asperger's, ADHD, on the autistic spectrum. And I see this is someone that you worry about, alright? And I can see them coming through in the cards quite strongly. I also see that you're more in control of your money, but I'm seeing that you need to start writing stuff down, alright? Because you are forgetting stuff. Blaming it on your age, I'm being told. Right. Raphael, I'm helping you heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You're a healer like me. Don't know if you're ever aware of that, but that may be something that's news to you. Right, next I have Connor Williams. Hi, Connor. Connor, you got the top card. You've got the world, which means that everything's changing for you, and it's all changing for the better. But you, again, I've got you as your own worst enemy. You've got a little boy in spirit around you. I don't know if he's your brother or what, but he's cute, and he's around you as well. Sorry, my daughter's sending me stuff. I see that you're more in control of your money than you used to be, which is cool. But I do see that you're trying to save money up, or you're trying to put money away, but you're not very good at it. There is a moving card, there's a moving on. Alright, again, you've got to leave other people's problems in the past to get there. Leave other people's problems and concerns behind you. There's an older man there who gives you good advice, but you don't bloody listen. And I can see you slowly starting to leave other people's problems behind, which is great. I see you enjoying doing what you do, which is brilliant as well. But I do see you blaming yourself for a lot of stuff that isn't your doing and isn't your problem. And I do see, Connor, that you're going to get some people out your life. all right? This is for a positive, okay? They need to move on. And I see there's a woman with a sharp tongue who will say what she thinks as well, who's also stands as much. It's as good to have her on your side, because she also stands your guard behind you as well. I see that you're impatient and you want things to happen now, all right? It's not always like that. Life isn't always like that, unfortunately. And for you, I have Melina. You are confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. Alright? Hope that makes sense to you, Connor. Brandon New. Hi, Brandon. Brandon, you've got your great nan who stands over you. She's standing over you, strong, bold as brass. I don't know if you knew her that well or had much to do with her, but she's very, very strong in your life. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune means that you have to change your fortune. So it will change. The Wheel of Fortune will turn for you in the right direction, but you have to allow that to happen. And by doing that, to do that, you have to learn how to leave other people's you have to learn. It's all about learning, not necessarily education, obviously, but learning life's lessons to be able to get to where you want to be, and to turn that Wheel of Fortune, which is sitting there waiting. I see you're worried about an older lady's health. Don't worry too much. I'm not seeing anything bad happening with it. But I am seeing temptation, so you're tempted to change things in your life. Now, whichever way that is, I'm not sure, but you are tempted to make a big change. So fluidity is coming in. Alright, and I've got you the Magician, so you're permanently busy. It doesn't look like you've got a minute to spare, but you've got everything there. You just don't have a chance to look at it. And I see you're fed up with bickering. There's lots of bickering around you, and it's really stupid because it's not even consistent or strong arguments. It's stupid. It's stuff that really shouldn't be even discussed. Alright, it's just ridiculous. And I see that you were slowly learning to leave other people's problems behind you. Money's improving for you, Brandon, so whether that's a new job or money improving, more money, more hours, or maybe even a pay rise, or being put up a leg with what you're doing now. For you, I have Fiona. Now that you've asked for angels' help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. Alright, Brandon, I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. Natalie Bowker. Not sure how you say that. Coffee keeps me through. Coffee and nicotine. Natalie, you've got quite a deep depression. It's like the depression you've had for a long time, and it goes back to something that happened in the past. And I want to say to you, it's easy for you. It's easy for me to say, but it would be hard for you to do. But I want you to try and leave the problems that caused that in the past, because I can see that you can do that. All right, your Chariot's telling you to go ahead and to go ahead with your ideas and your plans and do what you need to do right now. Your grandmother is coming through. She's got some. I'm assuming she's a grandmother. She had some quite poorly, but she's obviously in spirit. She's given me indigestion, so she would have suffered something to do with that sort of stomach area. I'm seeing that you're not very patient. You want things to happen now, Natalie. And I also see that you're fed up with bickering, because people are bickering, and it is bickering. It really is ridiculous. They're fighting over nothing, and that's kind of driving you mad. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, Natalie, as well, the same as Brandon. And what that says is, you can turn the wheel to your own advantage. The wheel can turn to give you better fortune, but you have to learn lessons. So you have to learn what you're supposed to have learnt to then move on. All right, don't just sit there and suck it up. And yeah, then I've got a moving on card, so you will do that and you will move on, and the moving on will require you to leave some people behind you. All right, but that's a part of it. It's part of the fluidity and nature of it, but you'll find out what it is. You've got a child in spirit, a little girl. I don't know if she's yours, but she's making my nose itch like crazy, which means she probably does you as well. They always do it and then knock my nose ring, and she's doing that. But she'll always move you, or get your silver stuff, anything shiny, and you'll lose stuff all the time. For you, Natalie, we have you're a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. Alright, darling, I hope that makes sense to you. Next, I have Grant Baker. Hi, Grant. I hope you're well. Don't forget to be watching our raffle this evening. Grant, you're coming to a crossroads. And it's funny because I think I had that with Ben. So you're coming to a crossroads where there's two ways you can go, and you have to choose which way you want to take it. Alright? But you will do. You're not sure which way to go, but you'll work it out. And you've got the World, which is the top card, which means everything's coming to you now. Alright? You've been through the worst. You can't get any better than the World. It's an absolutely brilliant card to have. But I see that you're keeping an eye on your money all the time. But you have learned how to deal with your problems on your own. So you've learned control of your problems, which you never used to have. And you also learned how to budget your money and be more in control of your money. Alright, now there's somebody around you who's between 20 and 40 that's worrying you because they rush into things without thinking and they've got a sharp tongue. And this is someone that is a constant worry and a constant concern because it's just in the back of your mind that are they okay? I also see money improving, so one way or t'other, new job or whatever, but you are your own worst critic. You make things really difficult for yourself. So you'll deal with your problems and put them to bed, but then you'll beat yourself up for having them in the first place. And I want to say, you know, go easy on yourself. You've got the Death card, which is good. That means that you've been through the worst and you're coming out the other side, which is great. Alright. You've got Gypsy in your family somewhere, Grant, which I wouldn't have picked up before. So that means that you don't always like things the same. You like to change things. So you might want to change your lounge around, or you might want to change something in your life just because you get fed up with everything always being the same. Alright? And I see that you're looking after tending your money, so you're not spending it wildly at the moment. You're just keeping an eye on it. And for you, I have Melina. You're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. I'm sure that's the third or fourth time I've seen that come out this morning, which is strange. That's only in 45 minutes. So that's quite a lot. You must have quite a similar thing going on there. Paula Lynch, you had a bad week. What's going on? Paula's a very dear friend of mine. Oh, and you're chaotic. What's going on with you? You're chaotic at the moment. Things are all over the place and you're your own worst critic. That's not like you. Why are you beating yourself up for problems that you've dealt with? Let go of them. You're laying awake worrying over other people's shit, over what other people are saying or doing. Ignore it, alright? Take no notice. You feel surrounded by other people's crap and that there's no way forward. And I understand that would give me a bad week as well. But you know what? You're better than that. And you can move through this, and you know you can. You've got to believe in yourself because everyone else believes in you. Stop seeing bad in the past because there is some good parts as well. As much as it's easy to focus on the bad, there is good parts there as well. And I see that there's a youngster with a sharp tongue that's worrying you. He's going through a patch at the moment. They're under 20 where they are becoming a bit of a concern. Don't worry, it'll work itself out. And I see you're making out you're strong when you're really not feeling it. And you're keeping an eye on your finances all the time, so you're constantly watching, probably checking your bank all the time. But I've also got the Wheel of Fortune, and that's about turning that wheel. It's about making the wheel turn for your own good. It will turn, and it's going to be a good outcome. But you have to learn lessons, and you have to learn the lessons that other people give you, and the lessons that are meant for us to all go through to learn, to allow that wheel to turn. All right. See you more in control of your money. There's a lot of temptation here, temptation to change things, temptation to do silly things as well. I want you to turn that round, alright? There's a celebration coming and there's a soulmate in the offing. I keep saying this, but you've got this depression that's up in the day. Mental health isn't doing so good at the moment, alright? I don't know, you've got one of your youngsters that's got some issues because they're rushing into things without thinking. But they've also would benefit from some counselling, all right? So maybe you should try helping them, getting them something going in there, because that would help. And money's improving for you, so you're going to do something that's going to help money to improve. Maybe it's a new job. Now, we have, this probably coincides with some of what I've just said. Caution is warranted. Look deeper into the situation before proceeding further, all right? So make sure you keep an eye on what's going on. Don't just jump. You know, take time to be sure you're making the right decisions. I make my coffee in a travel cup so it stays warm longer, because I don't drink very fast. Right, Lauren Hill. Hi, Lauren. Lauren, you've got an older lady around you with a sharp tongue who's driving you mad. I can see that. You've got a child in spirit as well, a little girl. Whether she's yours or she's your parents, I'm not sure. But she's a little girl who runs riot around you. Always makes my nose itch. You can always tell. I see money. You're juggling money. I think we all are. But you're fed up with people bickering. Because people are arguing over nothing. It's ridiculous. Why do you stab yourself in the back with everyone else's problems? Why do you even let them give you a day's worry? Eh? You are got Gypsy in your family, which is great in lots of ways, but it also means that you like change and you like things, you like to turn things around in your home, and you like to do things differently. And you've got the very top card for happy families, but you've also got a card that tells me that there's a bit of backstabbing going on behind your back. There's a group of people, and there's one in particular who's saying stuff that isn't true, but it's fine. It's not going to give you a day's worry. Please don't worry, but be aware of it and be careful what you say to people. All right. The Wheel of Fortune's turning for you, my darling, but you've got to leave other people's problems behind, because they are adults and they can deal with it themselves. All right. You are actually in a better position than you think you are. All right. Money's a bit of a mess and you're making out you're strong and you don't feel it, but actually you're in a better position than you have been for a very long time. So if you sit back and think about it, then you might realise that. And for you, we have Celeste. A happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. Alright? I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. You've got a grandfather with you as well, Lauren. I don't know if you're aware. I'm assuming he's a grandfather, maybe a great-grandfather. But he's got a grandfather vibe, let's put it that way. And he comes to you with an awful lot of love, but you'll smell him around you anyway, so you're aware of his familiar smells, whichever they are. Right, Sharon Rawding. Sharon, you're a bit hesitant at the moment. You've got stuff going on and you're not quite sure where you're going with it. And I've got you being exhausted, absolutely tired, like you just want to sleep all the time, which is tough. But there's going to be some on-job training or something. There's going to be some learning that's going to help you to earn more money. All right, so whether that's learning something from scratch or whether that's on-job training, I'm not sure. But it's there, all right, so it's going to be within the year. I see a pregnancy occurring around you as well, Sharon, so you will find out about it anyway. I see money's improving for you and you enjoy what you do. I'm also seeing someone who's between 20 and 40 who rushes into things without thinking, as possibly would have had ADHD as a youngster, who now would benefit from some anger counselling, okay? And this is somebody that worries you, somebody who you worry about a lot. I see you not being very patient. You want things to happen now. You're very, very independent. I see you try and deal with your problems all on your own. You don't want any help. But I've got you wanting to do stuff now, right this minute. No messing around. When you've decided you're going to do it, you can do it. And I see you leaving other people's problems behind you, which is great. Whether that's something you need to learn or whether that's something you're already doing, I'm not sure. But I see that you're worried what others think of you, and I want to say to you, chuck it and fuck it bucket. Who cares what others think, alright? They're not in your life, you are. Yeah, I see that you are tempted to change things. So there's things you want to do differently, but you're turning away from the good things about you just because things, you know, that's easy to do sometimes. Well, turn around and look and smell the roses, because, sweetheart, you're doing better than you think you are, but you need to believe it as much as anything else. Sharon, for you we have Francesca. What do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. Alright, sweetheart, I hope that makes sense. And I'll leave their love with you. Aaron Bagnall. Hi, Aaron. It's another one of ours from last night. Oh, you're a bit chaotic at the moment, Aaron. You're going to get some people out of your life, alright? Now, they're getting these people out of your life is for the best. These are people that aren't necessarily there, alright? Don't need to be there. You've got a little girl in spirit as well. I don't know if you're aware, but she rushes around and steals shiny stuff and does silly things, alright? You should name her. I don't know where she comes from. I don't know if she's yours or if she's your wife's, but she's very much in your space. You've got an older man around you who gives you good advice, so I'm assuming your father's a big part of your life. And I've got you needing to write stuff down, alright, so you don't forget stuff. I know you're very particular, so I'm surprised you're not doing that already. And you're more aware of spirit, so that's good, and it's going to improve more and more, and I think that's for every one of us anyway. But money's going to be improving for you, and you are chaotic because you're just throwing the cards everywhere. So you're getting yourself at it. One of the older youngsters is worrying you because they rush into things without thinking and they've got a sharp tongue. So they're kind of like, oh God, you know, why are they doing that? Don't worry, they'll straighten themselves out. You're definitely more aware of spirit, but you've got to stop turning away from the good things about you because others see it, but you're very, very stubborn. And you make life all about, you're quite a tough person on yourself. So you are your own worst critic. So you beat yourself up for having problems even though you've sorted them. And I see you like to look after people. That's your thing. That's your bag. And I've got the top card for happy families. So you've never been happier in many ways. But you have been cheated on in the past. And that kind of has a little echo of worry in the back of your mind. But please, I don't see any reason to worry at all. I just see that as being an echo. And you have Teresa. Time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs. Now it's time to stop and take care of yourself, okay? And I think that's something you need to learn. 2 seconds. Right, music has stopped. I hope that makes sense, Aaron. Your grandfather, the grandfather on your father's side, comes in, and he's very, very important in your life. But he's serviceman of some description. But he watches out for you. Alright. Next, I have Emily Louise Shelley. Emily, you've got a lady who walks through and she's got this shaky feeling. I don't know if she had the shakes before she died. It's like, oh, it's like awful. She hasn't got it now. But she's got this shaky feeling. It's almost like I want to cry for her. Alright. She's okay now. But she comes through quite strong with you, Emily. I see you're very stubborn and you refuse to accept compliments. So people try and give them to you and you just refuse to accept them. But sometimes you have to accept them, Emily, because one day somebody will stop giving them to you. Alright, so think on. And I see that you've got a youngster around you with a sharp tongue, and one that you spend money on, or you were about to spend money on. Certainly something's coming up that's going to be expensive. Probably Christmas, seeing as somebody told me it's 23 weeks away. I see that work's improving for you more. Well, money's coming into the house is coming better. Whether that's you or whether it's your partner, but you've got money coming in at a better rate than has been for a while. And I see you keeping an eye on the bank all the time. So check in on stuff and making sure everything's okay, and check it. And you're kind of making out you're strong even though you don't feel like you are. But you are a good mother in that you like to look after people. But you have very, very independent now. You've become very independent, and that's all been to do with control for you. And what I'm also seeing is that the Wheel of Fortune is changing in your direction, but you have to learn lessons for that to change. All right. Now there's a pregnancy coming as well around you, Emily. I don't know if you're aware of it, but you will. You become very aware of it because it's close. It's going to be close to where you are. All right. And I see that you're worried what others think about you. So you feel judged, or you feel that people are judging you unnecessarily. And I see that there's some bitching going on and a bit of arguing, Emily, and you're kind of dealing with it. And I understand it's hard, but it will close itself down. It will sort itself out. They just need to think on about what's going on in their lives as much as anything else. And an angel card for you I have. Shanti, I'm the angel of peace. I bring you new tranquility and a smoother road ahead. Which is basically what I said in the reading. Alright, Emily, I hope that makes sense. Next, I have Claire Stones. So I've just seen one come up. Claire Stones. Claire, I see you looking after your money at the moment, and I see karma's being done. So you are a believer in karma. What goes around comes around, and I can see that that is definitely going to happen. I can see that there's somebody wanting to borrow money off you, and it is a warning card, because as I keep saying, this person isn't going to be as skint as they make out they are, but it may be that it's your very own loved ones and that you would absolutely give them your last 2 pence. And you know, but just be aware that you may not get that money back, because that's what the warning is. You're more in control of your emotions than you have been, but you do worry about cheating. You've been cheated on before, and this is something that goes through your mind, Claire. And I'm not seeing you being cheated on now, but I'm just seeing that as a concern. I'm also seeing you as being in the middle. So you're like Geneva, and people around you are giving you ideas or telling you or what's going on or their problems, and you're sat in the middle trying to keep peace. And that's where you tend to be a lot of the time, Claire. I see you're worried about an older man's health. Please don't worry. I'm not seeing anything bad happening. But I am seeing the younger version of this man who rushes into things without thinking and does stupid stuff. That is also an issue for you, that worries you. This person has some anger issues and they would benefit from some counselling, alright? So whether you can arrange that or not, I don't know. But there's also another person who is very, very kind, very, very calm, very clever. Actually a little bit boring as well, who's in your life or coming into your life. I see that you're worried what others think of you, and I want to say to you, no, don't worry about it. But I'm also seeing a soulmate, and I think that's important. Now, whether they're there now or whether they're coming, there is definitely a soulmate, okay, and within the year. And I see that you're a very, very private person, and you like to keep a lid on your issues, but you actually have got the second card for happy families. So you will try and mask whatever's going on. And I'm seeing you becoming more aware of spirit, which obviously everyone is, because the veil is thinning. But you will become more aware of them. And I see you being permanently busy. You've got the Magician. He's always busy. He's always rushing about. But you've got lots of plans and ideas. And lots of things are all there for you, but you just don't have time to look at them. For you, I have Azure. Your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. Alright, Claire, I hope that makes sense to you. Now I have Lily Moth. Just let the dog in. On your bed. In your bed. In your bed. In your bed. Right. Lily Moth. Stop it. Lily Moth. You've got a soulmate around you as well. Well, certainly if you haven't now, you will have in the very near future. Alright. Now, I've got you having been cheated on in the past, Lily, so you struggle with belief that you're not going to be cheated on again. I see you've got Gypsy in your family, and that how that will manifest itself with you is that you like to change things. So you like to change your bedroom round or your lounge round or do something like that. I've also got you being more in control of your emotions, so you're calmer than you have been for a long time. I've got the death card, which is a good card. It means that you've been through the worst and you're coming out the other side. So the worst is behind you now, alright? So only good things to come. I see that you temptation to change things anyway, but it's all about leaving other people's problems behind, because that's something you haven't been doing. You have to learn to leave other people's problems behind to get to that new beginning. And you've got a youngster around you who's very, very clever, like an indigo child. They just know how to work stuff. They'll pick stuff up and they just know how to do it. And money's improving for you, so whether that's in new work or increased hours, or whether that's a partner bringing in more pennies, it is going to happen, all right? So it's going to bring more money into your family. And for you, I have Vanessa. To make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? All right, Lily, I hope that makes sense. Now I have Chloe Carter. Hi, Chloe. Chloe, there's a pregnancy coming around you. Whether that's you or someone close, I don't know. But it's close enough for it to have come into the cards, and it's going to be in the next year, all right? I see that you've had to learn how to put your problems into perspective. So you've had to learn how to line them up and then deal with them one at a time, rather than letting them all be in mass. I've got you believing in karma. What goes around comes around, which is lovely. And karma will be done, all right? You're waiting for it to be done. It will be done. I see that you worry about a partner in cheating. So you've been cheated on in the past. You've got the Fool. It's the first time I've seen that today. Now, the Fool, the whole tarot is built on the Fool's journey. So the major arcana goes from the Fool to the World. And it's 22 cards. Now, it literally works its way down life. So the Fool is rebirth. It's like the new beginning, the very best new beginning. And it's all about taking a chance. And it's all about taking that leap of faith. And that's going to take you over to your new beginning, all right? And you're absolutely doing the right thing. And you'll know what it's about, Chloe. Money's going to improve for you, which is massive. I do see there's somebody around you, though, who is naughty. They're older, they're between 20 and 40, but they rush into things without thinking. They would have got some anger issues, which would benefit from some counselling, all right? I see you're always checking your money, making sure your money's okay. And I also see a youngster who is just an indigo child, Chloe, who just knows how to work stuff. They're just crazy. But they might have a little bit of Asperger's, a little bit of autistic spectrum there. And that's somebody who worries you. When I say a youngster, they're under 20, all right? Yeah, there's lots of arguing, bickering around you, Chloe. Nothing you can't deal with, because people are just bickering over their own problems. It's just crazy. And for you, we have Crystal. Have faith and hope, because there's something positive and new on the horizon that you can't yet see. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. Next, I have Karen George. I lost my pipe. Karen, how are you? I hope you're good, darling. Sorry, there's a wait. She says, having a fag and making it even longer. Right, Karen. Karen, you make out you're strong when you don't feel it. You're surrounded by, you feel like you're surrounded by other people's problems, like there's no way forward. But there is a path. You've just got to kind of seek it and believe it, and it will be there. I see you've got a youngster around you, Karen, who has some Asperger's, ADHD, that sort of autistic spectrum, who worries you. So they're constantly on the move. They never have a moment's silence. You're constantly busy, okay? I see that you're trying to work your problems out. You need to write stuff down, because you're beginning to forget stuff, all right? So you need to, work through it. I see that you've got depression there that's quite deep, Karen, so you have struggled. But you can get over that, because a lot of that depression is to do with the past. And that past is gone, all right? You can't change it, so move on, all right? I know it's hard, But I think there's a little bit of PTSD there. I think I'm feeling. You're worried about an older lady's health, and she's quite critical. I don't know if you're worried about her mental health, but I'm getting a concern there. But don't worry too much, okay? I see that you're moving on in a situation. That doesn't mean you're necessarily moving. It means you're moving on. Or that could be moving on in work, could be moving on in home. It could be just moving on in a situation. But it is a warning card, because it tells you that you have to leave other people's problems behind to get to where you want to be. And you always got to keep an eye on your money. You're always checking the bank, always making sure what's there is there, what should be there. And you've got a soulmate around you, whether that's now, whether that's coming, I'm not sure. But your relationship there is going to improve, all right? So there's going to be a good relationship coming, or your current relationship, will get better. Yeah, and I see that you've got plans and ideas. You're a bit of a hermit. I think we all are at the moment, but you've got plans and ideas and things you want to do, because the hermit is also a wizard. All right, so you know what you want out of life. You've got an older man around you, gives you good advice, but you don't always listen. And karma's being done, Karen. What goes around comes around. And for you, I have Indriel. You're a light worker. God needs you to shine your light, divine light and love, like an angel upon the earth and its inhabitants. So you're a fixer. You like to look after people. Welcome to my world. Next, Kevin Eastwood. Oh, sugar. Kevin, you're really messy at the minute. I'm back. Kevin Eastwood, this is. I've got Kev Brown just after. So Kevin Eastwood. You making out you're strong when you don't feel it, so you're struggling a little bit. I've got the Magician, which means that you're permanently busy at the moment. You don't seem to have a moment's peace. It's just from one thing to another. That everything's there. You've got every single suit of cards on the table. You know where you're going. It's all there for you, but you just don't see it. Even abundance is there. You're worried about a lady's health, but don't worry. She's going to be fine, all right? An older lady. And you like to look after people. You've got a great family values there. I can see that your family values are strong. He's a youngster under 20 who is an indigo child that you worry about. They are ultra intelligent. They just know stuff. It's incredible. They've also got a little bit of autistic or Asperger's tendency, so they are incredibly clever. I see you need to write stuff down, Kevin, because you are forgetting stuff, all right? And I see that there is a moving on card, but the moving on would require you getting some people out your life. That's a big move, but it is for positive, because these people are negative aspects of your life, and it does then lead to a moving card. So whether that's moving home or moving on in a situation will become clear. But it is all about leaving other people's problems in the past to allow that new beginning, and you're ready to do that. All right, the fluidity is there. You're checking your bank all the time. You feel you've been cheated on in the past, so you worry about that. But you've got a soulmate. Whether they're here now, whether they're coming, I'm not sure. But it's going to be within the year. But it's definitely a soulmate. All right. And you make out you're strong even though you don't feel it. But money's improving for you, so there's going to be some form of increased finance, whether that's a new job or increased hours or what, I'm not sure, but it's there. All right, so it's going to be good. But you're fed up with arguing, bickering all around you. It's ridiculous. People arguing over nothing and stuff that's insignificant. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is the second best card in the pack, and that says that you are changing your Wheel of Fortune. So you will change your Wheel of Fortune, but you need to learn lessons. All right, so to allow that to change, you have to learn lessons. And for you, I have Astara, you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. Kevin, your father, I'm assuming, or a father, might be a grandfather, but he's giving you a lot of love and he's telling me that he showed you carpentry skills. Because he's showing me a lot of wood lathes. I don't mean electric ones. I mean like wood planers and that. All right. So I think that's important. All right. But I'll leave that with you. Kev Browner, hi. That's confusing. We've got two Kevs. Hi, Kev Browner. Right, you've got a man behind you who is like a traditional grandfather with an allotment. All right, he's someone who will like to look after his veg. All right, now you'll know the relationship, but that's the kind of man I'm getting. A man with braces, a man who is, that's what he does. He's a man of the land. All right. I see you're worried about older man's health. Don't worry, there's nothing bad happening either. But I do see that you have the second top card of happy family. So you've got a happy family, but you have got control of your problems within there. But you're very private, so you like to keep a lid on them. You don't like people to know that they're there, that you've got any problems anyway. And I see that you need to write stuff down because you're beginning to forget stuff. But money is going to come better. But there's some on-job training or something that's going to help you to earn more money, and that's coming up very soon. All right. Now you've got someone around you who rushes into things without thinking. They're gobby. They do stupid stuff, and I can see that being an issue. All right. So I see that being something you're concerned about, and as a result of them, there's a lot of bickering and a lot of crossing swords between people that you kind of end up getting involved in, and you're really fed up with it. It's like you really just want to bash their heads together because it's just craziness. I see that you've got a strong mothering person around you, which is good. And I also see that you're going to hear about a pregnancy, and that's going to be within a year as well. All right, there's a lot of lockdown babies coming out. I see you are your own worst critic, so you make life quite hard for yourself. And there's a lady around you who's quite spiritual. She believes in the universe and that everything happens for a reason, but she doesn't see the good in the past, and that's quite a tough lesson to learn. But I'm seeing her as being quite strong in your presence as well. And I see that you are looking after your money, you're tending it, but you are in a situation where you're about to move on in your circumstances. But you have to leave other people's problems behind to allow that new beginning, Kev, that you really badly want. Alright, sweet. And you've got Caressa. You're at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort and guide to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Alright, which is basically what the cards were saying. Alright, sweetheart. Now we've got Annie. A-N-I, Annie. I assume that's Annie Danielian I'm seeing there. Annie, money's more in control of your money. Right, you've got the Fool, so it's a step off. So you're doing something completely different. You're taking a leap of faith. And it's going to be good, alright? But it's like starting something, and you're not scared, but you're starting something new, alright? And that's a good place, a good place to be. Alright, I see you leaving other people's problems behind you. There is quite a deep depression that you've suffered with over the years, but I know that you're dealing with it, which is good. I see money improving, so money you're enjoying working, whether it's you working or your partner, but I see money improving around you. I also see you being more in control of other people's problems. So it's like if you concentrate on other people's problems, you don't have to worry about your own. Well, you're chaotic as well at the moment, so it's all up in the air. Money's improving for you, which is good. And I see that you're having to put your problems into perspective and deal with them one at a time. And you are a good mother, even though you don't think you are. And I think that answers a question you've been asking. Alright. There's a mothering card. There's a card of a mother. Now I did sneak a sneaky peek at... I saw your question come up. So I know what your question is, and I think you've got your answer. I'm not sure whether this is going to be right now, but it's going to be within the year. Alright? I do see you learning. I see you having to learn stuff to help you earn more money. So you're going to learn something either on the job or what, I don't know. But there is going to be some training of some description. And the fall is all about a new beginning. It's all about a new journey, Annie. So I hope that makes sense. And you've got an older man, a grandfather, who looks out for you and holds your gate, so to speak. And I see you worrying about an older man's health, which is nothing for you to worry about, and making out you're strong when you don't feel it. But I absolutely have the card of mother for you, Annie. I think that's what you wanted to hear. Let's see what we got in terms of the angel cards. We have Serena. I'm the angel of abundance. You'll receive the money you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I don't believe in God, my own personal thing, but I'm up for that. Tracy Thomas is next. Hi, Tracy. We're doing the draw tonight. I know you've got a ticket for tonight for the East Drive. I think it's 8 o'clock live on here. Tracy, money's a bit of a mess, but it's there. Alright, it's a bit dribs and drabs as it's coming out at the moment. I see you're very stubborn and you're refusing to accept compliments, which I've said once today, which is unusual. But if you don't accept compliments, eventually people will stop giving them to you and they'll get bored, and that you don't want either. So accept compliments when they're given, accept them when they're due. Alright? And I see that there's some backstabbing going on behind your back, which is driving you mad. But you're worried about what others think of you, Tracy, and I want to say to you to stop it. Stop getting yourself at it, alright? I see that you turn away from the good things about you. You don't see the good things about you, and I want to tell you to ease up. You've got the death card, which is a good card. It means that you are you've been through the worst and you're going to a better place. All right, so that's a good card to have. And I see that you've got an older man in spirit who looks out for you, Tracy. That's very important, you know that. There's also some backstabbing going on somewhere behind your back. There's a group of people, and there's one person in particular who's saying some stuff that isn't true. Don't worry about it, it'll come out in the wash. And I see that you're fed up with people arguing. They're all battling each other and talking crap. And I see that you've become more in control of your problems. So you used to have help with your problems, and you've learned how to deal with them on your own now, okay? So that's good. But your biggest thing I would say for you to learn today is that you've got a little bit of OCD, you have control issues, but the biggest thing I would say you need to learn today is to go easy and to see the good in the past, because you've got that depression and the ups and downs of life that gets you now and again. And I want to say to you, you know, that's something you need to let go of and see the good in the past as much as the bad, alright? And that's quite an important thing for you to remember. And also the judgment, chuck it in the fuck it bucket, who cares what others think? And for you, I have Oceana. Take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. I won't end, Louise. I never end. Alright. Next one. Louise Ethers, I think it is. Louise, you've got somebody around you who's very, very calm and very, very kind, and they've got lots of good things about them. a little bit boring, I have to say. Important in your life. I see money improving for you, and you're a good mum, or you're a good caring person, let's put it that way. But you do like to, you're very, very private. So when you have got problems in your family, which you have got a happy family, you try and hide it. So you are very private, very personal person. I see that there is a deep depression that you've had in the past, and that raises its head now and again. I see that happening. But I see you make out you're strong even though you don't feel it, alright? But you've got that sort of front up. I believe you believe in karma, so what goes around comes around, and you believe that, and your karma is coming, all right? You've waited a long time for it, and it is about to realise it. You are very, very calm, and you've got a lot of spiritual stuff about you. You believe in the earth and nature, and everything's here for a reason. But what you need to learn, and something which is really strong today, is that you need to learn to see good in the past, because it isn't all bad, there's good as well. I see you're tending your money, which is good, and you've learned how to break your problems down, so to separate them and to deal with them one at a time as you go along, all right? And I see that you are your own worst critic. So you let stuff get on top of you even though you've dealt with it. And you've got to stop stabbing yourself in the back with other people's problems, Louise. Deal with your own. Don't worry about other people's. I know they're friends, I know they're family, but you know what, they're adults. Alright? I see you worrying about an older lady's health. Please don't worry. And I also see a soulmate round you. Now, whether that's now or whether that's coming in the next year, it certainly is there. Alright? You're not going to get away from that. And you do need to leave other people's problems behind you, though, to realise that, because you don't necessarily see it. Yeah, because your relationship is improving. You are very impatient, and you want things to happen now. I think we're all a bit like that. I know I am. And you kind of struggle. You've got a little girl spirit as well, Louise. I don't know if you're aware of it, but she's making my nose itch like crazy. So that's probably what she does to you as well. But she likes to move stuff that's shiny and chuck stuff around. Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Jodie A. Pike is next. Jodie, you've got a grandfather behind you who's very important to you. I'm saying, God, I'm confused. I want to say he was important in your life, but then part of me saying you didn't know him that well. So he's important in your afterlife, more so. But he holds your gate, so he looks out for you, alright? I see that you've got some trouble going on behind your back. I think you're aware of it. If you aren't, you will be, alright? But don't worry about it, because it's their problem, not yours. I see that you've got gypsy in your family, which means you like to change things. So you like to change your room around, or you like to do things a different way. But you see there's a depression there that you kind of get yourself down, you get yourself at it. It's an up and down, up and down. So that's quite a tough place to be as well. I see you're more in control of your money than you have been for a long time. And I'm also seeing a soulmate around you, Jodie. If that's not now, that will be in the next year. And you've got the top card for happy families, so you can't ask better than that. But you're worrying about what others think, and I want to say to you, chuck it in the fuck it bucket, it doesn't matter. As long as you're alright. You have got someone who's older, between 20 and 40, who rushes into things without thinking and would benefit from some counselling. They're quite silly, they do silly stuff, and there's somebody that you worry about because you just think, oh, what are they going to get up to next? I see that you've been cheated on in the past, so you worry about, you've got jealousy stuff going on, but you'll deal with it. And I see that you've got money improving, which is the biggest thing. And this bitching and the backstabbing, you're going to find out who it is. You're going to get these people out of your life. and it's for a positive, because they are negative influences, and you will know exactly who they are. And you're tempted to change things. You know what? You've got the death card, Jodie, which means the worst is over. You've done it. You've been through the worst. The best is yet to come. Okay, and we have no, conditions aren't favourable right now. Wait or look into other options and ask the angels to help guide and comfort you. Alright? I hope that makes sense to you, my sweet. Alright? Next one, Shannon Percival. Shannon, you're a believer in what goes around comes around, karma, and karma will be done. There's some education for you, some learning, some training, whether that's in job training or what, I'm not sure, but it's going to help you to earn more money, alright? So that's a positive. I see, because that money's improving, and you can see it improving fairly soon, alright? There's lots of bickering, lots of arguing, lots of people not getting on and just crazy, yeah, and I see that being an issue. But I see that you've got the Fool. Now that's a great card. The Fool is about the new beginning. It's about stepping off and doing something different, and doing something that is going to be good. You're not scared to do it. It's a big leap of faith, and you will do it, all right? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. I see you spending money on a youngster, but you've got the Sun. Now the Sun is one of the best new beginnings. It's all new beginning, all about starting and doing. Start again. Doing what you, if you get a chance to redo what you're doing, what you've, hang on, my brain's gone. Right, so you say, if I could do it all again and know what I know now, that's what the Sun is saying, okay? So the Sun is feeling the sun on your face. The Sun is all about a new beginning, but it's about knowing what you didn't know before and redoing it. So it's like a whole re-succession of going through stuff, but in a positive way. And I see that you've got plans and ideas, and you've been staying in too much. We all have, but you've got plans and ideas and things you want to do, which is good. There's a celebration coming up for you as well. There's somebody between 20 and 40 around you who is very, very clever and very, very calm, but they are just a little bit verging on the boring, all right? But you worry about them, or they're very close in your close proximity. I see that you're actually okay. Money's okay. It's there, but you're not. You're trying to put it away, but you're not very good. You're not very good at saving. You've got an older person who gives you good advice. I'm not saying you listen to it, but I'm saying he gives you good advice. He's a good man. And I see money's improving for you. You've got a grandfather looks out for you as well, and he's coming through in the cards. All right. And there's a pregnancy coming around you as well soon. Now that you will find out about in the next year. All right. But I see you worrying about trust because you've been cheated on in the past. So I see a little bit of trust issues coming up there. Yeah, and I see you worrying what others think, and I want to tell you to chuck it in the fuck it bucket, because it doesn't matter. But I've also seen that the moon, which means that you're more aware of spirit, and spirit is going to be more around you, and you're going to see and smell them and sense them. Your grandmother you know's there anyway, but you're going to smell them and know they're there, because the veil's thinning for all of us. But for you, my darling, it's going to be thinning a little bit quicker, all right? So you're going to know what's going on. You're going to see them, sense them, feel them. You're worried about an older man as well. Please don't worry. He's going to be fine. His health is going to be okay. So when anything happens, you can just think, that's all right. It's not going to be anything bad. Now, for you, Shannon, I have Teresa. Time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs. Now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. All right? I hope that makes sense. Next, I have Peter Cousins. Peter, the worst is over. You've been through the worst. The best is yet to come. All right, they got the death card. It means that you're saying goodbye to all the bad things. All right, you've been through it. You've been through the battle. You're very, very independent. You try and put your head down and get on with stuff, and you don't want anyone's help. So you put your head down, you don't even tell your partner or anyone what's going on in your head sometimes. And that's not entirely fair, because people are there wanting to help you. I see that you've got some trouble going on behind your back, a little bit of trouble, a little bit of shit stirring. You will become aware of it. It's not going to cause you any grief, all right, because they're the ones that are going to get caught out. All right, I see that somebody's going to come to you asking to borrow money. It is a warning card, because it says if you lend it, you won't get it back. And I think that's something you need to look on. If that's immediate family, then perhaps you're happy to do that. But just be aware of it. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It can be a fiver. But you have to be aware that if you give it, you won't receive. You are more aware of spirit, Peter, so that's good. You're seeing and smelling your father. I believe it's your father. If it's not, it's close. It's your grandfather. You are smelling them or sensing them around you. It's a coldness. It's a blast of cold air, which you felt the other day, and you commented on it. Right. There's a moving on in your situation, so you've got to move on. Now, to move on, that doesn't mean you're moving home, but to move on, you have to let go of other people's problems to get to the new beginning that you want to get to. I see you enjoying working, which is good. And I see that with work, you've got to come into a crossroads where you've got two ways you can go, all right? You will know which way to go. Just go with your gut instinct, and that will take you in the right. It will never lead you the wrong way. Money's improving for you, which is good. And the Chariot tells me, get up and go, get on with your ideas and things you want to do, because you have ideas, you've got things you want to do, you just kind of, something holds you back, and it's probably your own insecurity if all is from what I'm seeing. And you are going to get some people out your life, Peter, but that's for a good reason. This is a positive, because their negativity needs to be left behind you. And you have learnt to separate your problems and deal with them one at a time, rather than in the mass. Justice is going to be done, which is good. I see you've got someone around you who is quite sharp-tongued, quite critical. This is an older man, and he sometimes has a lot to say. Now, that may even be one of your own family, okay? But I see that as being somebody who can be quite iffy in terms of that. But money's good. Money, you're enjoying doing what you're doing. You've got the top card for happy families, and that is good. It's as good as it gets, really. All right. So you've got the death card. You've been through the worst, and you've got the top card for happy families. And for you, we've got Zana. You're protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask to relax and feel safe. All right. I hope that makes sense. Next, I have Hannah Nuttall. Hi, Hannah. Got over camping yet? I don't think I have. Hannah. You've got someone around you who's between 20 and 40, very calm, very kind, got a lot of good things about them. Probably a little bit boring, a little bit stuck in their ways. And I see you've got the Fool. The Fool is a brilliant card. It means that you're starting something new. You're going to step off the precipice and you're going to do something different. And you're not scared, and you know where you're going, and you know what you're doing, and everything will be fine. But you just got to go with it, all right? And I see that you're rushed. You've got somebody who's rushing into things without thinking, who drives you mad. I can see that. And I also see that you've got another one who is got a few anger issues. It's probably one of the youngsters. But that's something that will work its way out. I see that you don't see the good things about you, and that's a problem that I think you need to change. But I also see that you're constantly in the middle. You're Geneva, and you let stuff build up, and it's like you kind of like you're in the middle. You've got warring factions, and they're just all talking to you in the middle, and you feel like it's craziness. you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas. Don't worry about what others think of you. Alright, you've got this. You've been through the worst. You've got the death card. You've been through the worst. You're coming out the other side. Hannah, there's a hint of you not needing to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff. And there's also you being stubborn and not seeing the good things about you. There is some problems going on with a group of people, and there's a little bit of issues and backstabbing going on. Don't worry, it won't give you a day's worry. But as long as you know. And money's improving for you, which is good. Okay. I see you're more in control of your problems than you used to be, but I've got a few control cards coming through. So it's like you want to be in control, you like to be in control. Alright, you're more in control of your money, which is great. There's some learning, some training or something that's going to help you to earn more money. And that's happening soon. And you've got both the Wheel of Fortune and the World. Now they're the two top cards. The Wheel of Fortune says that you need to change your thought pattern to get that wheel to change, because it's all about learning. It's all about learning lessons, all right? And that's great. You can do that. And then you got the World, which is the very top card, which means everything's good. Everything's going to end out all right. But you know, you've just got to go through the motions. Yeah, your biggest thing is you're quite stubborn and you don't see the good things about you. And I want to tell you, Hannah, you need to start seeing the good about you. Because we all do. And for you, we have Caressa. You're at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort and guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you. Alright, so that reflects in with the death card and the fact that you've been through the worst. Next, I have Rebecca Jane Cousins Gray. Well, that's a mouthful. I thought mine was bad. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. You're very spiritual. You could read. You absolutely could read. You could do psychic stuff. You probably do. You've got everything. You believe in the universe. You believe in nature holds us up. You believe in that rather than probably the traditional Christianity. But what you don't do is you don't see good things in the past, and that's something you need to learn. Alright, you're trying to put money away, but you're not very good at it, and you keep being asked to borrow money all the time, and then you'll give it because that's just you. And even if it's your last 2 pence, you'll give it out. Even if you were meant to be saving it, you'll continue on. Alright, you're just not very good at it. I see that you've got Gypsy in your family, so you like to change things, you like to change the colours, you like to change your room around, you like, you know, whatever, you'll change something. And I see there's a man around you with a critical tongue who will say what they think, even though you don't always appreciate it. And you're a little bit up and down, you're a little bit chaotic at the moment, but you've got your front down, Rebecca. You've got your screens, because you make out you're strong even though you're not really, but you've got a smoke screen that you put down in front of you. Rebecca, you've got a grandmother coming through for you as well. I think that's important, you know she's there. And you've also got a soulmate round you, whether that's now or whether that's coming, alright? That's worth remembering. And money's improving for you. You've been staying in too much, but we all have. But you've got plans and ideas, because the hermit, as much as he's a hermit, is also a wizard. And you've got plans and ideas and things you want to do. And I see you've got to leave other people's problems behind to get to there, to get to where you want to be. But you've got the Fool, and that's all about the beginning. It's all about rebirth. So you're ready to step off the precipice and do something different, Rebecca. And do it, because you're not scared. You know where you're going. You know how to get there. It's just whether you've got the wherewithal or your faith in yourself to do it. Because you've got the top card of Happy Families. You don't get better than that. Alright, so you've got everything for you. You just don't necessarily give yourself benefit of the doubt. And for you we have Opal. Your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. I believe there's a little boy in spirit for you who was never born, actually. He may not be yours, he may be your family's, but he does hang around you quite a lot. So you might find that children around you have pretend friends and stuff like that, or stare at the corners of rooms where there's nothing there. Alright, but I'm going to give you that, and I'm going to let you leave their love with you, okay? Laura Burton. Laura. Laura, money's improving for you, alright? You are your own worst critic, though. So, there's an opportunity coming, but I'm not sure you'll go for it because you kind of, you're not sure. You beat yourself up. Um, it's like you're your own worst critic. So you deal with stuff, you deal with your problems, and you deal with them as you get them. But you then beat yourself up with them, and that bit of insecurity may be what stops you from going ahead, because you have got this new opportunity there and you have to go for it, but you are stubborn and you refuse to see the good things about you, and that is what's holds you back. I want to say, Laura, you need to go for it. You need to take a chance because you're absolutely going to rock it. I see that you need to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff, and that's very important as well, because you will miss an important date or an important appointment or something. There's going to be something you're going to miss that's quite prevalent. And you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is all about learning lessons. So you've got to learn the lessons of life to then make the wheel change to a new beginning, which you're definitely getting. Money's definitely improving for you. It's a bit of a mess, but it's there. And I see you're more in control of your emotions than you used to be, Laura. But I also see that you've got a youngster around you who's very, very clever, but worries you. It's like they just pick stuff up and you're like, whoa, how did they know to do that or whatever. And I see that being there. But I'm also seeing you being quite stubborn and refusing to see the good things about you, which is tough. But there's also a pregnancy card coming for you, Laura. So that's going to be in the next year, and it's going to be close enough for it to count in the cards, all right? For an angel card for you, I have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective, okay? I hope that means something to you. Right, next, Nikki Scammell. Flagging. It's alright, I won't. I'll give you all good readings. It won't affect my readings. I'm just flagging. It's a good job I like cold coffee, isn't it? Nikki Scammell, hi. Good to see you. You need to write stuff down as well. You're just as bad. You're forgetting stuff. God, there's a load of you today. And you, again, are your own worst critic. So you beat yourself up for having problems even though you've dealt with it. Hey. Now, you're more in control. You're seeing spirit around you more often. So the veil's thinning for you. So you'll become aware. You'll see them. You'll feel them. You'll sense them. You'll smell them. I'm being told your grandmother has a great smell about her, that you smell quite a lot. I'm assuming she's your grandmother. But she comes to you with an awful lot of love that she didn't always get time to show you. Alright? And I see that you worry about being cheated on, so insecurity is a big thing for you. Another pregnancy there, I see. Somewhere in the next year, alright? So lots of lockdown babies. And I've got you turning away from the good things about you. So you're quite insecure. You don't always see, the good. And I see there's a youngster around you that's got Asperger's, ADHD, sort of on the spectrum. And I can see that being somebody who worries you, Nikki. And I've got the Chariot, which says you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas. It's all about taking a chance. And you're ready to do that. So why do you let insecurity hold you back? And you've got the World, so the outcome is going to be good. That's the top card. All right, it will work its way through. All right, it's positive. And money's going to improve for you, but you've got a sharp-tongued woman around behind you, drives you mad. All right, Nikki, I see that. And for you, I have Chantal. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. All right, Nikki, so get back on track. I've got 24 still to read, so if you're on the list, I am getting round to you. It's just taking a while. All right. Saffron next. Safi Hiscock. I'm watching the names go up as well. But I don't get to see half your messages until afterwards. What I do then is I go back through and I check I've read for everyone. If I've missed you, I'll then give you a reading then. But what I do is I go back through and I personally like each of your comments. So as I know, I will then read any comments you put up there. Nice ones, please. To be fair, I'd even like your bad ones. Negative is as good as positive, really. Saffron. Safi, you've got the top card for happy families, so things are alright for you at the moment. You've got someone who in your life who's very calm and quite steady, and you know, got good things about them, but quite boring at times and probably drives you mad. And I see that spirits around you and you're more aware of it. You're seeing them, the veil's thinning, which is good. I see you've got an older man looking out for you. We had this conversation about this. You have got your grandfather looking out for you. He's coming through in the cards right now, so I know he's there. I see you looking after your money, which is good. You're not spending it wildly like you used to. But I also see you worrying what others think about you, and I want to say to you, don't worry, alright? Why worry? Chuck it and fuck it bucket. I see you're more in control of your problems than you used to be. You do need to start writing stuff down, Saffron. I think this is the second time I've told you that, because you will forget stuff, and you're juggling money left, right and centre, but you are getting there. You know, you've got it. You've got a handle on this. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, so it's all about changing your fortune, but you have to learn the lessons of life to allow them to turn, all right? It's no good trying to get your Wheel of Fortune to turn if you're just going to carry on the same way. And I see that you enjoy doing what you do, you enjoy keeping your family, keeping your home. And I see your relationship is going to improve, because it's gone a bit stale of late, but that's going to come back, so that's good. And I see that you've got a soulmate around you, which I believe you know anyway. But you're more in control of your problems than you have been for a very long time, Saffron. You've got Gypsy in your family, so you like to change things. You like things to not always remain the same. So you want to change your room around, you want to change whatever. You thought about changing your bedroom and your lounge around? I don't know, crazy. I've got you being a good mum even though you don't think you are. And you have a depression which raises its head, but you're getting over that, because that's a depression card. I can see that it's to do with the past, and you have to look past that and look past that. It's quite a good pun, but you have to look past the bad and see the good in the past as well, and that will help you to move on, because you are very independent and determined to do things on your own, but you've got a sharp tongue when you want one, and you're not afraid to say what you think. And the angel card for you I have is Chantal. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion, which I believe I just said. Be open to giving and receiving love, alright? So be open to opening your heart back up, because you've shut it down for a little bit, and it's time to get it back up and running, alright? Tasha Hutchins. Why did I feel I needed to go peaceful then? Do you need to take some time out? Do you need to take some rest there, Tasha? You've got your grandmother here, and she's telling me you're not looking after yourself properly. You've got a depression that comes and goes, and you've been struggling with it just recently. You're very independent, and you try and deal with problems on your own without asking for or accepting anyone's help. Which is great, but what you do then is it becomes very hard for you. And I want to say to you, you know, go easy on yourself. Give yourself a break, alright? You enjoy doing what you do. You enjoy whatever, work-wise or whatever. But there's a warning card here which says that somebody is going to borrow money or going to ask to borrow money from you. And if you give it, you won't get it back. This is probably someone you give your last 2 pence to for a loaf of bread or whatever. But they're not as skint as they are saying they are. They're making this great big thing of being absolutely skint. It's fine if you don't mind losing the money and not getting it back. But just think on, okay? I see that you're Geneva, so you're sat in the middle of warring people, and they're just like you're listening to it all and kind of trying to keep everyone happy, and it's a hard place to be. and you're keeping an eye on your bank all the time, watching your money. You've got a soulmate around you, which is great. You're becoming more aware of spirit. I'm being told you've seen your grandmother, you've seen her in the mirror, all right? You are being more aware of spirit, and you are seeing or smelling or believing or sensing them. But I've also got you need to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff. You need to organise yourself. It's time for you to become more proactive in that way. See you juggling money, but I think we all are, and you've got a grandfather coming out in the cards as well. So this is someone who's keeping an eye open for you, my darling Tasha. And I have faith and hope, because there's something positive in you on the horizon that you can't see yet. All right, so that's good news. You've got a child in spirit as well, Tasha. Little girl, she's making my nose itch. God, yeah, terrible. Right. Denise Farnell. Hi, Denise. Denise, yours is all about moving on to a new situation, whether that's moving home, moving job, or moving on in what you're doing, or moving on in your life or friends or whatever. You are moving on, but there's a warning in that you need to leave other people's problems behind to get to the new beginning you actually want and you deserve. So that's a big thing for you to learn, all right? I can see that there's a youngster around you who's very, very clever, is an indigo child, picks things up, but you also worry about this child because you think they're too clever. You think they don't have to concentrate, all right? And I see that you make out you're strong even though you don't feel you are half the time. And the sun is a lovely new beginning. The sun is a new beginning where it says that you can start again knowing what you know now. And that's all about reinventing yourself, all right? So that's a good place to be, and that's absolutely on its way to you. So that's going to be within the year, all right? I've got you being more in control of other people's problems. Why is that, Denise? Why do you feel you need to control other people's problems? Is it because it stops you from having to look at your own? Think on, all right? I see you are going to learn to leave some of the other people's problems behind. So you are going to learn from this, all right? And you're worried about an older man's health, please don't be, okay? He's going to be fine. But I do see that the older man has got a sharp tongue and can be quite critical, and they worry you, all right? I see there's a youngster, when I say youngster, between 20 and 40, rushes into things without thinking, and they would benefit from some counselling, whether it's anger counselling or addiction counselling, I'm not sure, but they would benefit, and they're in your immediate or sort of people you know, and somebody you worry about, or maybe unintentionally worrying about at the moment. But I've got education training of some description coming up for you. So there's going to be something, whether it's on the job or whether that's you choose to do something different. But whatever you choose is going to bring in more money. For you, you have Azure. Your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try and force it to happen. Okay, let things happen naturally. If that's one thing I can teach you, it'll be that. Right, next. I have Shona, who's lovely, my Shona. We went through the miracle of childbirth together. Well, she did. I watched. It was marvellous. 2 days and 2 nights, but it was wonderful. Shona. Got a soulmate round you, which is good. You got the Wheel of Fortune is changing for you. That's all about learning lessons, all right? So you have to learn past lessons to allow that to change. And you've also got the happy top card for happy families, which is brilliant, all right? I see the Death card, which means you've been through the worst. The best is yet to come, all right? I see that you come into a crossroads where you've got 2 ways to go and you're not quite sure which way to go. Your gut will tell you. But I've also got you worrying about being cheated on, and I've got that quite strongly, and I see that as being an issue, okay? And I don't see that as happening, I just see that as something that's in your head, all right? And I've also got some educational training that's going to help you to earn more money, which makes me feel like a complete fraud, because I know you're going to do that. But obviously I have to give you what the cards say. But I've also got you leaving other people's problems behind to get to that new beginning that you really want. And I see that you've got someone around you who is got issues, anger issues or some form of issues, but they're very close. I'm hoping it's not Dom. It could be someone else in you. It may be a past. It's someone that is causing you some form of problems, all right? I've got you not seeing the good things about you, which is tough because you need to, all right? And don't worry about the older man's health. He's going to be fine. I can see a worry there, but don't. And I see that the Chariot tells me that you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas and don't let insecurities hold you back. All right? I hope that makes sense to you, Shona. I think it'll be fine. And the card for you we have is Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. Well, that's going to be hard, getting time on your own with a new baby. I have to ask Auntie Paula to babysit. Oh, Nanny Paula. Stuart Hay. I assume that's how you pronounce your surname. Stuart Hay. You're at a new beginning. There is a nice new beginning. You've got the Fool. So you've been through... You're taking a new leap of faith. You're doing something completely different, all right? And that's going to happen very soon. And you're not scared. You know what you're doing. You're just going to take that leap of faith and you're going to go for it. I do see someone around you who rushes into things without thinking, with a sharp tongue, who is possibly somebody who you worry about. And I'm seeing them coming through in the cards. I'm also seeing a lady around you who is quite calm, quite spiritual. Now this lady will believe in nature and everything around it, but they won't see the good in the past, and that can sometimes cause an issue. I see that you are your own worst critic, so you're quite harsh on yourself, but I'm seeing money improving for you, Stuart, so that's good. I see you worrying about an older lady's health. Please don't worry, I'm not seeing anything bad attached to that card, so we're alright. I do see you checking your bank all the time, so there's obviously a reason for that. You're obviously saving something, and I see money's been a bit of a mess. Alright, so perhaps you were furloughed, I don't know. I do see you getting some people out your life though, Stuart. Now this may be as part of this new leap of faith, I don't know, but by getting these people out your life, you're going to usher in positive perspectives rather than negatives, because these people are quite negative and energy vipers. Alright, and I've got the World, which is the top card. You're enjoying working, doing what you do, so I've got that being good. You've got a little girl in spirit around you. It's a little girl who was unborn, who runs right around you, hides stuff, normally keys. And I've got you spending money on a youngster around you as well. Alright. Now I also got like bickering around you, like people arguing over nothing, and you just want to bash their heads together. But I've also got you being quite stubborn and not seeing the good things about you as well, Stuart, which is quite a tough place to be. And maybe you should see the good things that other people don't see, or other people do see and you don't see. And you have Adriana. I'm leading you toward the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts and dreams. Alright? I hope that makes sense to you. Right. Tamara Tame. Got a lot of new names on here today. Tomorrow. Got pregnancy around you straight away tomorrow, so somewhere around you's going to have a baby. I've got you being more in control of your money, but juggling it just the same. And I've also got you worrying what other people think. It's like I want to tell you to chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Fuck them. They're not paying you rent. I've got an older lady, you worried about their health. Please don't worry, I'm not seeing anything bad happening, so that's positive. I am seeing you being stubborn and refusing to see the good things about you, but that is your own insecurities. You will get over that tomorrow. You just need to trust in yourself. I've got a new beginning, and I've got the new beginning of fantasy. So it's all about rainbows and happy times. So it's a great new beginning that you're coming to. And I've got the Wheel of Fortune, which means that you need to change the wheel. To turn the wheel in your direction, you have to learn life's lessons. And that's something that you need to learn from today, is that you have to learn the lessons that are put out there for us all to learn. You have to believe in them, you have to learn them and take them on board to allow that wheel to change. Ooh. And I've got the Sun as well. Now the Sun is another good new beginning. So you've got two new beginnings. This is absolutely set in stone tomorrow. I can't, this is, to have two major arcanas like that, both new beginnings, there's a lot changing in your life. It's big fluidity. Now the Sun is all about doing it all again, but knowing what you know now and feeling the sun on your face. It's a great place. So you've got two of the best new beginnings tomorrow. Everything's changing for you. You've been through the worst, but you are very independent, and you try and do things on your own. You try and put your head down and get on with stuff. And I see that, and I also see you're not very good at saving money. So you try and put money away, but you're just not very good at it. So I see that as being an issue. And I see you make out you're strong even though you don't feel it. But you know what? As much as you got that barrier down, you are doing so well, because to get those two new beginnings together like that is amazing. So you've got an older lady with a sharp tongue who's critical and sometimes puts you in your place, but I think you know how to deal with them. Alright, Tamara. It's a lovely reading. For you, Tamara, you have Caressa. You're at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Well, that absolutely corresponds with the two new beginnings that you've got. It's a lovely, really lovely reading, and I hope that all comes true for you. I believe it will. Okay, major arcanas are very hard to change. Right, next we have Sonia Brooks. Sonia Brooks. Sonia. I get these messages. Only 19 left to go. Ha! I do love you, Sheila. She keeps me going sometimes. Only 19 left to go, really? Right. So, Sonia Brooks. Hi. Sonia, you got to get some people out your life, all right? And I know it's going to be hard, and I know you're going to question yourself over it, but it is for the best, all right? These people are negative, and they're negative influences in your life, all right? And to get them out your life is a positive, okay? I've got you trying to deal with stuff and trying to do stuff on your own and trying to get on and owning your problems. So you've learned how to do that. You've learned how to be a step ahead, which is great. I've also got you being in control of other people's problems, but that's as much to do with, oh, for God's sake, now 21, it's just gone off. So it's much to do with you not looking at your own problems, because you're looking out for other people rather than, all right? Now, I've got you definitely getting people out of your life, but I've got you being more in control of your money, which is good, alright? I see that you're keeping an eye on your money all the time. You're constantly checking the bank, but you are slowly learning to leave other people's problems behind, which is good, because these other people are adults. They can deal with their own. Let them deal with it, alright? I've got you being a good mum. That doesn't mean you're a mum as necessary, Sonia, although you may be, but it may be just that you look after people, okay? And I've got an older man that you're worried about his health. Please don't worry, because I'm not seeing anything bad attached to it. Alright, so that's a positive. And I see money improving for you. Now, the Fool. I've just seen that twice come round. Now, the Fool is a great card. The Fool tells us that you are taking a leap of faith. You're stepping off the precipice. Now, the Fool's journey is what the whole of the tarot cards are set on. And you begin at the 4, which is 0, and you go through to 21, which is the 22nd card actually, which is the World. And you're at the beginning, so you're doing something different. You're stepping off, you're doing something wicked, alright? I see you laying awake at night worrying about other people, but your relationship is improving, Sonia, and that's a big thing. And I see you keeping an eye on your money, and you know what? I've got the World. The World card is the very top card. So not only have you got the Fool's Journey, you've also got the World. So everything's coming to you, with this new beginning that is ushering in. It's a brilliant, brilliant reading. So you've just got to believe in it. And a lot of that is to do with you believing in yourself as well, Sonia. You have to believe in yourself. All right? That's very, very important and something you need to learn. All right? And an angel card for you, I have Isaiah. It's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I'm watching over you, guiding you and protecting you during these changes. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you, Sonia. Next, I have Sasha Bristow. Hi, Sasha. Sasha, you're your own worst critic. You're very stubborn. You don't see the good things about you. You refuse to turn around and see them. But you deal with, you make life difficult for yourself because you deal with your problems and then you beat yourself up for having them in the first place. So you make life very difficult. Your own insecurities hold you back massively. You've got a soulmate around you, whether you have that now, whether that's coming in the future. It's only in the next year. And I see that you are more in control. You like to be in control of other people's problems. You know, is that more about worrying about theirs and not worrying about your own? Although you do worry about your own because you beat yourself up. I see, yeah, definitely soulmate. And you've got Gypsy in your family, so you like to change things. You like to everything to be fluid. You don't like everything to remain the same. So you might want to change your furniture around or, you know, change the colours in your kitchen. But you'll always want to change something, so you don't like things to remain the same. I've got a lovely new beginning. And I've also got a pregnancy for you, and I've got you getting some people out of your life. Massive changes, all right? And I've also got the Chariot. See, it's all major arcana with you. And the Chariot tells you to go ahead with your ideas, to do what you want to do, Sasha. Don't let any insecurities hold you back. I know it's hard, but it's something you need to learn. And you're more in control of your money than you have been for a long time, Sasha, and that's a good place to be. Alright, let's find an angel card for you. We have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels for help to help you gain a positive perspective. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Next, I have Anna Maria. Hi, Anna. Anna, you're a very private person, so you've got a few problems in your life. You've got a hold on them, but you like to hide them. So you like to hide your bushel. You like to not everyone to know that you've got some issues. It is the second top card for happy families, so that's great. But as I say, you like to hide it. I see you learning to leave other people's problems behind you. I've got a couple of kids coming through, youngsters. One's really, really clever, and one is got Asperger's or autistic spectrum type things there. They may be one and the same child, because quite often that happens. But there's somebody that you worry about, and they're under 20, okay? Then I've got an older version who's over 20, who is very calm, very clever, probably slightly boring. I don't know if this is a partner or what, because it's not clear where they're coming through, but they are coming through on the same as an upper level to the child. All right, now I've got you needing to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff. You need to become more organized, but also you're scared of having your heart broken, so you worry, you struggle with trust, you have issues with believing that people aren't going to cheat on you or aren't going to make your life a misery. And I see you laying awake at night worrying about other people. Now you've got someone in your life who is older, who has a sharp tongue, can be critical at times, a man. This person probably drives you mad, and you've got a little girl in spirit as well around you who was never born. All right, now whether that's yours or your mother's, I'm not sure. And you've definitely got to write stuff down. You need to separate your problems, separate them out, and deal with them one at a time. You are learning to do that, and I have got you being in a much better position than you have been for a long time, and you've got the world in your hands, so possibly potentially some travel once the restrictions lifted at some point. And we have victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Alright, Anna Maria, I hope that makes sense to you. Oh, backache. Right. I'm going to start doing this laying down. Lynn Hind Watson. Hello, Lynn. Lynn, straight into a new beginning. It's a new beginning. It's a nice new beginning. It's a new beginning of fantasy. Alright? You've got an older man around you, gives good advice, but I'm not saying you listen to him, but you worry about the health. Don't worry about the health. I'm not seeing anything connected to it. I'm seeing you being more in control of your money than you have been for a while, but I'm also seeing you worrying what other people think. And I want to tell you to stop doing that, alright? You can't change that. Let them get on with it. Chuck it in the fuck it bucket. I've got somebody who's older than 20, between 20 and 40, who worries you because they rush into things without thinking. They can be quite gobby. But I've also got a pregnancy around that person or in your near vicinity. So don't be surprised if you hear about a pregnancy at some stage, alright? I've got you being your own worst critic, so you beat yourself up for your problems even though you've dealt with them. But you make life difficult for yourself. And I've got you being more in control of your money, which is good. But I've got you not seeing the good things about you, so you're quite insecure. So I want to tell you to go easy on yourself. Other people see the good in you, Lynn, you just don't see it yourself. Absolutely brilliant new beginning though. And the death card tells me you've been through the worst, you're coming to a better place, alright? So take that as a warming feeling that you've been through the worst and you're now coming to a better place. See, there's a soulmate round you. There's a lot of control cards here, Lynn. I don't know if you've got a little bit of OCD going on there. And worrying what other people think about you. You need to stop that. Absolutely need to stop that. Because you can't change that. And I see you getting some people out of your life. You've got a youngster, when I say youngster, it's young to me, 20 and 40, who rushes into things without thinking, got anger issues as well. Now, somebody who would benefit from some counselling could potentially have other issues. Now, I see them as being a worry to you, alright? And there's definitely a pregnancy, you can't get away from it. There's an older lady with a sharp tongue as well who's critical, who drives you mad. And I see that you're making out you're strong when you don't feel that you are. So you've got your guard up, you're kind of protecting yourself. And I want to tell you you know, it's not weak to show that you're not feeling as strong as you maybe make out you are. You've got the world though, so that means that everything's changing for you for the better. Alright? It's a top card. And Lynn, I have Indriel. You're a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Okay, and I'm going to leave the love with you. I'm just going to make myself more comfortable because my legs are killing me. I have got shorts on, by the way. Alright. Paul Hutchins next. 2.25 hours so far, so I've got to make myself comfortable. Sorry, guys. Paul. Paul, you've got a soulmate around you. There is a pregnancy. It's coming around you somewhere. Alright, you've got a lady around you who's very in control of her emotions. She's very confident and calm, which is good. I've got a lady with a sharp tongue though as well, who probably drives you mad. You've not got your sharp tongue. You need to find your sharp tongue again because it's gone. And by finding your sharp tongue, you're going to get a couple of people out of your life, Paul, who need to go. Alright, these are negative people in your life. It's time for you to now take the positive. Alright, I see that you're fed up being in the middle. You're always trying to keep the peace. People arguing and you're just trying to keep everyone happy. But you know what? You want to batter their heads together. They're being ridiculous. Alright? You are going to start leaving other people's problems behind. You're going to say enough's enough. Alright? I see there's an older man, he's your father or grandfather behind you who looks out for you. He's also coming through in the cards. Now you'll smell him around you, you'll know he's there. You've got to stop worrying. You've been cheated on in the past, I understand that, but I can see that worry, that kind of constant nagging doubt. Please don't worry, because I'm not seeing that happening to you now. I see that there's money improving for you though, Paul, so that's good news. And there's a moving on. Now you're very private, you like to deal with your problems as you get them. Yeah, and you like to do it on your own. But there is a moving on in a situation. That doesn't mean you're necessarily moving home. It could mean that you're moving job or moving on in a situation, a personal situation. But you are going to do that. But it's a warning card that you need to leave other people's problems behind to do that. Alright? And I've got the death card, which means you've been through the worst. Alright? So you come into a better place now. I see that you're more in control of other people's problems, so you have managed to sort a couple out, but you're also controlling yours now, which is good. Alright, so that's a relief anyway. I can see that you've got quite a lot going on there, Paul, quite a lot of changes, but for the best. And you have, when you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat, a massage, sea salt bath or pedicure. So you best be on to the wife. But yeah, it means take time out. You know, just stop rushing around like you are and doing what you're doing. You know, take some time to yourself. Mandy Buxy. Mandy. Oh. Mandy, you're more aware of spirits around you, whether you sense them, smell them or feel them, I don't know. And you enjoy doing what you do, you enjoy keeping your place together, and you've got a soulmate around you, which is important. If you haven't got him now, you will have very soon. You've also got a youngster who's under 20 with a sharp tongue, who drives you absolutely mad, alright? And I see you stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems. That's quite a tough place to be, Mandy. You know, some of these people are adults, they can deal with their own. You need to write stuff down as well, because you are forgetting stuff. There's things, lists you need to make. Put things in order. And you make out you're strong even though you don't feel you are, but you are. You know what, you're doing really well. And you don't have to, it doesn't make you weak if you can say that I'm faltering here, guys. You know, you got a new beginning, it's a great new beginning, it's a new beginning of fantasy. Alright, but I've got you worrying what other people think of you, and I want to tell you to chuck it in the fuck it bucket. You can't change other people's views. Don't try. Alright, just let them get on with it. And I've got you being your own worst critic, so you beat yourself up for problems even though you've dealt with them. So you are quite harsh on yourself, and you've got a father in spirit or a father figure. That may be a father as in a father's father or something like that. But they come to you with an awful lot of love, and they do very much look after you, alright? So you're never going to get any bad. And you've got the World, which is a very top card. You've got an older man around you who gives you good advice, but I'm not saying you listen to it, Mandy, but I'm saying he gives it, alright? The World is the top card in the whole pack, alright? The World says that everything's coming around and your way, okay? So it's just, it's on its way, it's working its way round. So that's a good card, and I've got you leaving other people's problems behind, Mandy, which is good. So you are going to learn. And an angel card for you, I have schooling, study and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will help you, guide you and help you with this process. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. Adam Shorty Durant. Hi Adam. You got some on-site training or job training that's going to help you to earn more money shortly. You have a good mothering figure around you, someone who looks after you. You also got an older man who gives you good advice, but you don't always listen. And I've also got you with a woman with a sharp tongue, an older woman with a sharp tongue as well. So you've got it all going on. Now, I see that you have been cheated on in the past, so you do worry about trust, or you do worry about it happening again. I'm not seeing it happening again, I'm just saying it's a worry. Now, I've also got you leaving other people's problems behind you, so you are learning, And you are going to leave other people's problems behind you. So I'm stretching my back in case you wonder why I'm leaning forward. You've got a youngster you're going to be spending pennies on soon, and there's a celebration coming, and it's a good one. You have had this kind of depression going on in the background, which has been an issue, and for men it's very hard to admit, but it has been up and down, and you've had this sort of panic attack type anxiety things going on. I can see that. And I see that you need to start writing things down because you're not very organised. You kind of chuck letters everywhere and you don't necessarily always write down the important information from them. And that's going to be something that's going to let slip unless you sort it out. And the Wheel of Fortune is changing for you, Adam, but you have to learn lessons, life's lessons, to allow that to happen. So as much as it's there waiting for you, it's as much down to you to learn the lessons to allow it to change. And you've got the very top card for happy families, so you don't get better than that. So that's a good call, that one. But I see that you don't see the good things about you. You're quite negative on yourself, and I want to tell you to try and change that. I know it's hard, but you can do that, all right? I know it's very hard for a man to admit about mental health issues or to feeling down, and you have suffered or struggled. Now we have Ariel. New psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer and meditation. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you, Adam. And your grandfather gives me lots of love for you. Now I'm not sure he's your grandfather or if he's a pseudo-grandfather, as in one that you'd almost adopted. Alright? But he sends his love anyway. Naomi Gibson. Naomi, money's improving for you, so that's good, but you need to get some people out of your life, my darling. These are people that are negative, and having them in your life is not allowing you to move forward, alright? You know who they are. You've got the sun, though, as a result of getting rid of these new people, so it's like beginning again, knowing what you know now, right? So it's a good new beginning. So if you allow that to happen, then you're gonna be fine, alright? You've got a... You're kind of in the middle. You're like Geneva. You've got people arguing around you, and you don't have. It's like you want to batter people's heads together because it's just ridiculous, and you're trying to keep the peace all the time. I've got you worrying about an older lady's health. Please don't worry. I'm not seeing anything bad happening. And again, I've got the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is all about learning lessons to allow that wheel to turn. All right. I see that you've got the world in your hands, so things are changing for you. You've actually got control of your problems, and actually you are going to get out and get away and do some things you want to do now. Well, now it's all opening up. You are worried about somebody cheating on you, but don't worry, alright? I'm not seeing that happening, but I am seeing money improving for you, and I am seeing, as I say, you need to get these people out of your life. It's going to be for a positive, alright? You have learned how to separate your problems and deal with them. You do beat yourself up for having them, so you are your own worst critic. But you know what? There's one person in particular who's close to you who rushes into things without thinking and can be quite critical themselves, but they don't mean it. It's more a case of it falls out their mouth and they don't engage brain. Alright, but this is somebody that worries you as well. I see there's a bit of a depression there, Naomi, and that's been an issue, but you are getting over that, alright? You're learning. Let's find a card for you. Naomi, you are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now over, behind you, and I ask you to relax and feel safe. Alright, darling? I hope that makes sense. Now I have Joanna Frost. Joanna. You've got Gypsy in your family, Joanna, so you like to change things. You don't like things to always be the same. So you like to change your room around or do something different. I see that you, again, are worried about what other people say, and I want to tell you to chuck it in the fuck it bucket as well. You know, you can't change what other people think or what they say about you. Let them get on with it. It absolutely doesn't matter. It means nothing. And I see that you're trying to keep the peace. You're trying to be in the middle when people are telling you what they think or what's going on, and you're kind of sat in the middle, so that's quite a tough place to be. And you've got an older lady with a sharp tongue as well around you who's driving you mad. Some mother figure. Although I believe it's either your mother or it's close in to your mother. It's coming through in spirit. Could be a grandmother, to be fair. Right, you've got a pregnancy coming around you, Joanna. I don't know if you're aware of it, but you will be. But it's close enough for it to come out in the cards. You're your own worst critic again. You worry yourself, get yourself at it, and you know, beat yourself up for having problems. And I see that you try and do things on your own. So you try to be independent. You try and deal with stuff on your own. But you've got to stop stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems, because they aren't your problems. You make them your problems, but they aren't your problems. You need to leave them with who they stand with. And you are spending a lot of money on a youngster, but there's lots of bickering around you and arguing, stupid arguing. It's not nondescript, it's arguing over nothing. I see there's an older man around you who you're worried about his health. Don't worry again, as I say. I keep getting this card for a lot of you, but I'm not seeing it connected with anything bad. So it's not going to give you a day's worry. It's just one of those things. When it happens, you can relax. I am seeing you with a youngster around you who's got ADHD, Asperger's on the spectrum. Always likes things to remain the same, I'm being told. Importantly, Joanna. And I've got you stabbing yourself in the back again with other people's problems, which I've already seen. And I've got the death card and getting some people out your life. So the death card means that you've been through the worst, you're coming out the other side, but you have got to move these people out your life, because they're negative, alright? It's time to get a positive perspective. Let's find you a card. You have a special bond with animals. Your pets on earth and in heaven are watched over by angels. Alright? I hope that makes sense to you. Pauline Owens next. How many more have I got left? I must be whittling it down now. It's been 2.5 hours. Loads. Pauline Owen. You're more in control. You've got a little bit of control issues here, Pauline. You've got a bit of OCD or something like that, where you like things to be just so. You like to be in control. I've got money improving for you though, so that's good. But I have got literally 3 out of the 4 control cards, so that's quite a harsh place to be. I see that you're quite stubborn and you refuse to see the good things about you, and you're also your own worst critic again. So that's what you do to yourself. I also got you getting some people out your life, which will be for the positive, because these people almost don't help you, because you've got this depression that keeps raising its head, and you're sort of flying on the ups and downs of it. So you need to get these people out of your life. They're negative parts of your life, alright? And I see that you got the world as a result of, which is the very top card. So you'll feel a sense of relief by doing this. And I know it's a big thing I'm asking you to do, but I'm not asking you to do it. You'll know you need to do it. You've got a youngster around you with a sharp tongue who's not afraid of saying what they think. You've also got a couple of children. You've got a girl and a boy in spirit who were never born. So I'm assuming there are a few miscarriages or that sort of thing around you. It doesn't mean they're necessarily yours, but they are around you, okay? I see you worrying about what other people think, and I also see you laying awake worrying about other people's problems. And I want to say to you that these people are adults and they can deal with their own. I've got you worrying about being cheated on, but I'm not seeing that as an issue, but I am seeing you juggling money. Now, there is going to be some form of education in media or in the next year that's going to help you to earn more money, okay? And that is going to usher in a new beginning. Now, that new beginning is going to be a good new beginning because it's the sun. So it's feeling the sun on your face, and it's all about knowing what you know now, doing it again, knowing what you know now. So that's positive, all right? So we've got lots going on there, sweet Pauline, lots to be thinking of. Pauline, you have, funny enough, Schooling, study and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. Alright? I hope that makes sense. Right. Colleen Brain is next. Colleen Brain. Colleen, you're your own worst critic. You're spending money on a youngster though at the moment, which is just par for the course. I think you always do. You've got someone who's around you who's between 20 and 40, and they're very calm and very clever. They don't necessarily use it, but they're very calm and very clever. A little bit verging on the boring there, Colin. And I see that you're worried about what others think about you. So there's things you want to change, but you won't change them because you're worried about what others think. And you need to let go of that, alright? And I've got you keeping an eye on your money all the time. So checking the bank, always checking what's going on. You've got a depression, Colleen, that's quite bad. It comes up and down, and I see you being very independent and trying to deal with everything on your own. You don't want any help. You try and do it without asking, but you don't. People are there to help you. You don't have to ask. You don't have to feel bad about asking for help. They are there genuinely wanting to help you. All right. And I see you leaving other people's problems behind you, which is good. So you are going to learn some lessons here today. But there is a pregnancy coming around you, Colleen. So if it's going to be close enough for it to feature in the cards, it's going to be there somewhere, all right? And we have for you, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you, my sweet. Next, I have Laura Jane Boyce. Hi, Laura. I haven't seen you for ages. I hope you are good. And that young man of yours. Laura, stop seeing the bad things about you. You don't see the good in yourself. You need to stop being so insecure because you're not accepting compliments. You're being stubborn. You're not seeing the good things about you. It's reeking of insecurity at the moment. And that I don't see about you. But I see that the Wheel of Fortune's changing. You've got temptation there, so you know there's things you want to do differently, there's things you want to do that you aren't maybe stopping yourself from doing, but the Wheel of Fortune's there as well. So the Wheel of Fortune's all about changing your future, but you have to learn the lessons of life to allow that wheel to change. All right, I see there's a celebration for you as well coming, which is good, and keeping an eye on your money all the time, so checking the bank. Why are you worrying what others think of you? There is some bitching going on. Are you aware of it? It's to do with work, I think. Take no notice. They'll get found out for who they are. Okay? It's not going to cause you any trouble. Just know it's happening. You've got the very top card for happy families, and they can't bring you down off that perch no matter what. Now, there is a move or a moving on in a situation coming through as well, but you need to learn the past. You need to leave other people's problems behind you from the past to allow that new beginning, which that move will usher in, alright? So allow yourself to allow that to happen, and your relationship is going to be improving leaps and bounds. But you've got to stop pretending to be strong when you really don't feel it, because it's not weak to not be strong. Sometimes you can admit that you need a hand, even though you're very, very painfully independent. You know, it doesn't make you weak, Laura. And you have. Spend time alone in meditation, meditating about nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Nin. Oh, Laura, you got your nan with you, by the way. Nin. Hi, Nin. Nin, you've got Gypsy in your family, so you like to change things. You like things to not always remain the same. You'll change your colours or change your room round. You don't like things to be, you like things to be fluid. I see you're more in control of your money than you have been for a long time. But I see you stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems, not your own. Alright? It's everyone else's, and that's just what you choose to do. There's always going to be someone's got an opinion, and you struggle with that, but let them have their opinions, and don't let them pull you down, because you've got you being stubborn and not seeing the good things about you. But that's literally, you need to kind of chill out. Alright? Everyone's going to have an opinion. Just ignore it. And you're juggling money, but I think we all are. I've got you needing to write stuff down as well, Nin. You're forgetting stuff. And you've got to get some people out of your life, which you're going to be aware of. But by doing this, by getting these people out of your life, you're ushering in the world, which is the top card. And it's the top major arcana card. Alright? So allow that to happen. This all has to happen as par for the course. Alright? Just allow it to happen, it'll be fine. I see you, magician, you're permanently busy and you haven't got time to think, but you'll be there. You've got everything there. Every single suit of cards is on the table. It's just a case of you don't have time to see them. You've got your grandfather looking out for you in spirit, as well as looking out for you in the cards. So he very much keeps an eye on what goes on in your life and is actually in charge of that. Alright? And you have got an older male figure around you as well who gives you good advice. But I'm not saying you listen to it, Nin. Okay. And Nin, for you, I've got, as you honour and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Alright, Nin, I hope that makes sense to you. Keely. Hi, Keely. I only read for you last week. Probably the same. Keely, you're spending money on the little man. You're trying to put money away, but you're not very good at it. You're just crap. You spend it. I see there's lots of arguing, bickering around you. It's driving you mad. It's crazy. You just want to bash heads together. It's stupid. I see that you're stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems, and you are your own worst critic. So you beat yourself up, because I believe that you've been beaten up by other people's opinions before in the past. Now you're allowing that to become your own worst critics. You're allowing that to beat yourself up with your own problems, even though you're dealing with them. Alright? And got a depression that seems to be raising its head, but I think you've got an angle on that anyway. And I see that actually you're okay. You need to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff. You need to make lists. I think I've already spoken to you about that. But also you're a good mum, which you need to remember, because you forget that sometimes. Youngsters really, really clever, really, really bright. They pick stuff up. Remember that big backstabbing I spoke to you about at your house? It's happening. It's there again. You can still see it. It's still coming through. Absolutely crazy. But I see you staying in too much, but you've got plans and ideas of things you want to do. Alright? You've got the Fool's Journey, which means that you're ready to make that leap of faith. You're ready to step off the precipice. And I've got the pregnancy, which we already know about, and it's come through again. Alright? And that's something as well that you are aware of. And you're fed up with keeping the peace. You're fed up with being in the middle, trying to keep everyone from arguing. But you are more in control of your emotions. There's a bit of OCD there. You like to be in control. You like to know what you're doing. You like to, control that, which is quite a tough place to be. And I see that karma's going to be done. So what goes around comes around. You've been through the worst. You've got the death card. You've been through the worst. You're coming out the other side, alright? And you've got a celebration coming. So something good. Alright? Something to look forward to. And for you, we have victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Alright, Keely? I hope that makes sense. Right, Teresa Abbott's next. Teresa, why is it making me sit quiet? You're not getting enough you time, enough peace and quiet. You need to get some people out of your life to get that peace and quiet that you deserve and that you need. Somebody is literally draining your energy. Actually, you've got a mother with a sharp tongue, or an older woman with a sharp tongue who drives you mad. But you've got your grandmother who's in spirit, who's telling me that she keeps out an eye open for you, but she understands this situation. I think that's important, that she understands the situation now that she didn't understand before. You've got a pregnancy coming around you, Teresa, so be aware of that, wherever that will be. And money's improving for you, which is good, but it's been a bit messy of late, but it's going to improve. All right, it's always been there, but it's just been a bit messy. I've also got you keep an eye on the bank all the time, so you're constantly checking your account balance, constantly checking what's going in and coming out. But I've got you being more in control of your problems than you have been for a long time. But I've also got money improving for you, which is good. So there's going to be some form of increased finances, whether that's a new job for you or your partner, or whatever. I'm not sure. It could be increase of hours or whatever, but it's going to improve your finances. I've got arguing around you, bickering, like people are really stupidly bickering over nothing and driving you mad. But I've got you being more in control of your emotions than you have been for a long time. You've got a nipper around you. When I say nipper, they're under 20, who's got very clever. They're an indigo child. They pick stuff up. If you don't know what an indigo child is, Google it. All right, they're like intuitive little souls, and they'll know what's happening, and they'll know how to do stuff even before you've taught them, because they're clever. I see that you've got an older man around you who gives you good advice, but you don't listen. But I'm also seeing the Fool. Now, the Fool is a really good card. The Fool is the beginning of the whole of the major arcana, and it's all about taking that step, taking that big risk, taking that step off the precipice, and it's going to work out okay, and you're not scared to do it. So there is a new beginning there, and it's a good one. But you are your own worst critic. You make life really difficult for yourself just because that's you. And I've got a man with a sharp tongue around you who's not afraid of saying what they think. Not that that's a bad thing, because they're quite calm, but they can be quite critical. And there is a pregnancy as well, news of a pregnancy around you. But you've got the World. The World is the very top card, okay? And it tells me that everything's changing for you for the better, okay? But also I've got a card that tells me that you're quite spiritual yourself, so that you would be able to do stuff like this, potentially, if you believed in yourself. But I've got good, and you seeing good, and you being balanced and everything like that, but I've also got you not seeing good things in the past. So that's quite a tough place to be as well. Alright? And I've got a little bit of backstabbing going on behind your back, but I believe you'll become aware of it, Teresa, and you know what to do. Alright? And for you, Teresa, I am the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family, which kind of correlates with having the pregnancy card as well. Alright, now I have Malk Abbott, which I assume is related to Teresa Abbott. Hi Malk, I hope you're well. Malk, you're all about temptation. There's all about something new you want to do, it's change. You're not sure how it's going to work out or how it's going to pan out, but you got the angel and the devil, alright? See what the rest of the cards say as to where we're going with that. You've got a father behind you, Malk. I'm assuming he's your father, but he's coming to you with a lot of love. He would have been someone who taught you everything you know about, I think it's cars, I'm not sure, that sort of thing, engineering. I'm seeing your good lady wife here as the card I've just seen for her as well. I see that you need to write stuff down because you're forgetting stuff, alright? There's an instance that you're going to forget things that are coming up. I've also got you worrying what others think, which surprises me for a man, but I've got that as being a reason why you don't always step forward. But I've got the World for you as well, which I also had for Teresa, which is great. It means that you are getting there, you're getting to the right place, alright? You have got a soulmate around you as well, which is great, and I'm seeing money improving, which is a big thing, alright? But you do need to write stuff down, Malk, because you're just as bad in forgetting stuff. And you've been staying in too much, but you've got plans and ideas. You're a bit of a wizard. You know what you want to do with your life, and it's time for you to make that change. And for you, we have schooling, study and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. So that may be on job training, I'm not sure. but it's something that you're going to learn that's going to help you to increase your financial gain. All right. Next, I have Shah Pratt. Shah. Shah. You enjoying what you're doing. You've got the fall, so you've got the new beginning, the stepping off the precipice, doing something different. But you've got to start writing things down, Shah, because you are forgetting stuff. You've got bickering around you, but it's so much it wants to drive you mad. And you've got a partnership with someone who would benefit from some counselling, whether it's anger or what, I don't know. But there's some issues there. They rush into things and do things without thinking. They just shoot from the hip. You are more in control of his problems, though, than anyone else's, to be fair. Or you try to be. I see money's a bit of a mess, but you're getting there. And you've got the death card, which is good. That means that you've been through the worst, and the best is yet to come. So you've gone through the worst of it, alright? You're coming to a better place. See the gypsy in you, so you like to change things, you like to do things slightly different. But that's fine, you'll get there. And I see the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is all about changing your fortune, but it's all about learning the lessons of the past that you need to do to allow that to turn, alright? And you've got the moving on card, which doesn't mean you're necessarily moving home, but you're moving on in your situation. But it is a warning, because it's saying to you that if you don't leave other people's problems behind, you never really get to that new beginning. And you don't want to sink that boat before you've moved, alright? So let go. Is the biggest thing I can tell you to learn right now. And also that you're very stubborn and you don't see the good things about you, and you need to start believing in yourself a little bit more, because others believe in you. Yeah, you've got a new beginning of fantasy, the new beginning that things are all going to be okay. It's all going to go the way you want it to, with a fall as well. So you're absolutely ready to make that change, ready to do something different. So believe in yourself and try to believe in yourself. I know it's hard, and I know that you've got gypsy in your family. I know you like to change things. And I also know you're aware of some backstabbing going on behind your back. But don't worry about it, because they let them get on with it. It's only them that's going to end up with egg on their face. So don't worry. Alright, Shah? Let them get on with it. It's not important. Unimportant. Right. And for you, I have Seraphina. I'm the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family. Alright? I hope that makes sense. I think we had that before with you. I can't remember for sure. As I say, I don't really remember anything after I've read. Next, we've got Linda Pratt, which is Shah's mum. Linda, you've got an older man around you, gives you good advice. Whether you listen is another matter. And you don't see the good things about you, so you've got your own insecurities. But you're happy families other than that, so you're not in a bad position, alright? I see that you are in the middle. You're kind of trying to keep the peace between warring people. So you're always trying to be like Geneva. You're always trying to, keep everyone happy, okay? And I see that there's a pregnancy around you as well, Linda, so I think we've had that as well with Shah. And I see that you're enjoying what you do, but I also see that you have learnt to leave other people's problems behind you, so that's a good one. You need to not lend money out, alright? There's something going on there where people are asking you for money, alright? Linda, if you can afford it and you can afford to lose it, that's fine. But be prepared that you're not going to get it back. And I know you make out you're strong even though you don't feel it, alright? I can see that as being an issue as well. And we have, to help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. Alright? Hope that makes sense. Now I have Lisa Reed. Money's improving for you, Lisa, so that's good. And you're sort of in the middle. You're kind of trying to keep the peace with people. People are telling you all their problems, and you're sat in the middle. I see you being you've been cheated on in the past, so you worry about people, like jealousy, and you worry about things like that. I can see that. I also see that you're worried about an older man's health. Don't worry too much, okay? It's going to be fine, alright, Lisa? And I see you getting some people out of your life, but it's for a positive. This will usher in a positive new perspective, alright? Lisa, you got two. I'm showing two youngsters here. One is quite sharp-tongued, and the other one is very, very clever. It could be one and the same. But the clever one is an indigo child. It's worth looking that up because that's who they appear to be. All right. Money's a bit of a mess, but you're getting there. I see you being more in control of your problems, which is good. But I'm also seeing you worrying about what other people think, and at the end of the day, they're not in your life, so let them get on with it. All right. And I see that you are stabbing yourself. Why are you stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems? These are adults. Let them get on with their own. It's not your problem. You're more aware of spirit, Lisa, which is good. But I do see that you need to start writing things down because you're forgetting stuff. So don't let that slip, all right? Because there'll be something important that you maybe need to address, all right? And for you, I have a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Okay, next one I have is Selena. I can't even say your surname. Thuneojam. Selena, lovely to meet you. Selena, you're constantly busy. You ain't got a moment to think. You're permanently on the go. But what is nice about the Magician is that you've got everything on the table, so every single suit of cards is there for you, but you just don't have time to look at it. All right. I see you worrying about an older lady's health. Don't worry, okay, it's going to be fine. But I see that you've got the second card for happy families. So you're very private. So you like to deal with your problems and then you like to hide them and make out you haven't had them in the first place. So you're a very private person. You're quite introvert in that respect. And I see, I see that for you, you've got the same card as me, Linda. So that means that you are quite you believe in nature and the universe and how everything's there to protect you and there to bring all feeding on Mother Earth. But what you don't see is you don't see good in the past, and I think that's something, Selena, you need to start looking at. Pick out the good as well as the bad. All right, it isn't all bad. And I see the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is all about changing, but it's about change. You change that wheel, you need to learn lessons, and you need to learn the lessons of life. You need to learn, lessons as you go on, okay? I see that you are laying awake worrying about other people's problems. So I need to say to you, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Don't worry about it. It's not going to give you a minute's worry. I see two youngsters, as I say, same as the last lady actually. One was sharp tongued, one was very clever. Could be one and the same, but people that you worry about. And I see that you are your own worst critic, Selena, so you beat yourself up for problems that you've already dealt with. So go easy on yourself. And a card for you. You are at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Okay, Selena, I hope that makes sense to you, my darling. Next, I have Linda Hughes. Hi, Linda. Linda, you've got a darkness, you've got a depression that's dogged your life. It's been up and down. You're more in control of your money than you used to be, which is good. And I do see that the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune, again, as I say, and I keep saying, is all about changing. It's all about turning that wheel in your direction, okay? But by doing that, you need to learn your lessons, okay? You've got an older man with a sharp tongue around you who's critical, drives you mad. And I see you like to be in control of your emotions, which is cool. I'm not seeing that as a bad thing, but I am seeing a lot of control cards. So there's a little bit of OCD, or a little bit of like over zealousness, or you know, worrying about how things are, or not liking change. I see that you're very, very private and you like to deal with things on your own. You don't like to ask for any help, Linda. And I see that you enjoy making money. You enjoy money, you know, coming to you. You enjoy doing what you're doing to make your home the way you want it, which is good. But I also see you being quite stubborn and refusing to see the good things about you. Linda, I'm also seeing a new beginning, and the new beginning is a nice one. It's the one of the star, and it's all about like fantasy and good things. So it's a really nice new beginning coming up for you. And I've got you being karma, justice being done. What goes around comes around. Okay. And a card for you, I have Desiree. No, conditions aren't favourable right now. Wait or look into other options and ask the angels for help, to help guide and comfort you. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Next one's Jolene. Jolene Jojo Koski. Hi. Lovely to meet you. Whoops. I'm dropping my cards. See, you're a bit chaotic at the moment. And I see you're quite stubborn and you refuse to see the good things about you. Alright? So that's quite, insecurity is a horrible thing. Yeah. And you can deal with that. But I see there's an older man around you who's quite calm and gives you good advice, but you don't necessarily listen to it. Alright? I see that you're worried about that person's health as well. Please don't worry, alright? I'm not seeing anything bad happening, alright? I see you've had your heart broken in the past, and that's something that is an issue, okay, and something that worries you, alright? I'm not seeing it as anything bad happening, okay? I see the Fool. Now, the Fool's a great card. That's all about stepping off a precipice and doing something new, something different, alright? Not being afraid, because the whole of the tarot card rests on the Fool's journey. So he steps off, does something different, and it all begins at a rebirth, alright? So you're at that rebirth. It's really good. Alright, and you've got a really happy new beginning. You've got the one that fairy tales are made of, okay? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's all going to work out okay. You've got a soulmate around you. If you haven't now, you will have very shortly, Jolene, alright? You've got to write stuff down again because you're forgetting stuff, alright? And I see that you have got a youngster around you who's very, very clever, Jolene. Drives you mad because they're very clever and they don't think they need to learn. Alright, they're only under 20. Okay, but I'll leave that with you, and I hope that makes sense, Jolene. Alright. And for you, we have Melina. You're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you. Carol Bodenham. Blimey, you're late today, Carol. You're normally here earlier. Carol. Carol. You've got an older man around you, gives you good advice as well. Right, you've got a moving on card, Carol. You're more in control of your money, but you've got a moving on card. Now, the moving on card, as I think you probably guessed, is moving on, not necessarily moving house, but moving on in your situation. So it might be moving job, or moving on in your situation, moving on in a life lesson that you need to learn. But it's all about going on, okay? And I see there's an older lady with a sharp tongue around you who is driving you mad. I see you tending your money, so you're looking out for your money. There's a pregnancy around you as well somewhere, Carol, so you're going to find out about that in the next year, alright? And I've got karma, so what goes around comes around, alright? So you will get justice, alright? Now, I understand that you're trying to put money away, but you're struggling. I get that. We all are. But I've got that you need to write stuff down, you're forgetting things, and that you're more in control of other people's problems. Is that a case of, Carol, if you control other people's problems, you haven't got to look at your own? Is that something you need to learn? And I've got the new beginning of fantasy and fairy tales. But I've also got the Chariot, which tells me you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas. You've got them, so go ahead with them. Just keep going ahead, yeah? Do what you want to do. Don't let insecurity hold you back. You've got a soulmate around you, which is most important. And you are your own worst critic, I get that. But you need to move ahead, all right? It's telling you, the cards are telling you, it's time for you to go ahead with your ideas. All right? Don't let insecurity hold you back. And for you, I have Indril. You're a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Next, I have Angela Golding. Hi, Angela. Angela, why are you laying awake? You're not sleeping well. I've got you worrying about other people. You've got a selection of people around you. You've got one who's very calm and clever. You've got one who rushes into things without thinking and is quite gobby. I'm assuming these aren't two of the same people, because the one that's quite clever is very calm. Alright, these are both up between 20 and 40. I've got money being a bit of a mess, alright, but you're dealing with it. And I've got an older lady who's critical and has got a sharp tongue, who is actually driving you mad, Angela. But I've also got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune's about learning, and it's about learning lessons. Okay, to allow that wheel to change and to turn in your direction, you have to learn the lessons that life gives us. Doesn't mean you're going to school to learn lessons. It just means you need to learn lessons that life gives us. I've got you checking your money all the time, but I've also got a soulmate around you, which is amazing. Alright, now whether that's now or whether that's in the future, I'm not sure. But it's there, alright? And you need to start writing stuff down again, because you're forgetting it. There's an awful lot of you doing that, which is weird, because you've all been in lockdown and you should have all had time to organise yourself. Angela, money's improving for you, so there's going to be, for you or your partner, there's going to be more money coming into the home, whether that's a wage rise or what, I'm not sure. But it's more hours or something. But you're going to have more money coming in, alright? And I see bickering, people arguing, bickering and battering heads together, and you locking horns. Just let them get on with it. There is someone causing trouble behind your back, Angela. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna worry you. You can deal with it. And there's also a pregnancy coming in, all right, in the year, all right. It's gonna be close. And there's a man with a sharp tongue who stands behind you, who looks out for you, all right. I think that's something you need to know. Alright, stop stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems. And for you, I have Crystal. Have faith and hope, because there's something positive and new on the horizon you can't see yet. Alright, Angela, I hope that helps. Shannon Halford. Hi, Shannon. Shannon, you got a grandfather looking out for you, my sweet. And you're a good mother, or you're a good mothering person. You like to look out for people. You have got some stuff going on behind closed doors that you don't like to share, but that's okay. I see that you've got the World. The World is the top card. You don't get better than the World, alright? Money's improving for you, so there's more money coming in. Whether that's going to be a new job or what, or more hours, I'm not sure. But it's good. It's a good positive. It's you or your partner. I see bickerings driving you mad, people arguing and just not getting on, which is causing you some headaches. You've got a soulmate around you, which is really good, but you are your own worst critic, so you beat yourself up for having problems even though you've already dealt with them. Alright, and I see you getting some people out your life, but this is going to be positive. You need to do this to usher in positivity and get rid of the negative, alright? It is going to be a positive move, okay, Shannon? You have got a depression that sometimes it raises its head, but you've got a handle on it now. You know what you're doing with it. It just goes up and down. And I see you becoming a lot more aware of spirit around you, so the veil's thinning for all of us. But for you specifically, you'll see a lot more, you'll hear a lot more, you'll feel a lot more, right? And in terms of spirit cards, we have, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. All right, Shannon, I think that's something you need to learn. All right. Kirsty Joanna. I must be nearly there, aren't I? Kirsty Joanna. Kirsty. A lot of insecurity here. You're not seeing the good things about you. It's quite a tough place to be. There is some education, some training, or some in-work training or something like that coming up. Okay, that's going to help you to earn more money. I see you juggling money, which I get, we all are, but you're also keeping an eye on your finances. So you've got a wriggle on it. You know what you're doing. I see you're very independent and you won't ask for help. You try and put your head down and get on with your problems and get it dealt with, which is good. I see someone in your partner or someone around you who's very calm. It's got a lot of nice things about them. Clever, probably a little bit on the boring side. It's not exactly a wild child. They're not a child either. They're between 20 and 40. But I've also got another one who rushes into things without thinking and is gobby. Alright, so I've got two here. Doesn't mean you've got two partners. I've also got a few control cards which would say to me that you have a certain amount of OCD things going on, but you've also got a child in spirit, Kirsty. A little girl who likes to hide shiny stuff because she's making my nose itch, and she'll make your nose itch as well. Money's there, money's coming in. You've got a child with a sharp tongue around you, but also you've got temptation to change things, so you're not sure which way to go. Alright, you've got the angel and the devil on your shoulder, and that potentially might be why I'm seeing more than one person as well in there as well. We'll see. Also, I've got you making out you're strong all the time when you really don't feel it, alright? But you are more in control of your money than you have been for a while. You've got the world coming, so that's good, alright? You're going to be in a lovely position very shortly, Kirsty, because the world is the top card, alright? So whatever you decide to do, whatever you choose, is going to go work out okay. And have faith and hope, because there's something positive and new on the horizon you can't see yet, alright? I hope that makes sense to you, Kirsty. Next up is Joni. Joni, okay. Hi, Joni. Money's improving for you straight away, so that's good. I've got you being impatient, though, so you want things to change now. You don't want, you know, you don't do patience. And I see that somebody's wanting you to lend money out very soon. And I would suggest, I mean, you'd probably give this person your last 2 pence, but be very careful, because if you can afford to lose it, then that's fine. But if you can't afford to lose it, then you may never get this money back. All right, so don't lend out thousands, because it may be a false economy. All right, just be careful. Okay, it's a warning. There's a pregnancy as well, again, lots of lockdown babies, but I have got you tempting to change things. So there's something you want to do that's different in your life. Go for it. I've also got the Chariot, which tells me you need to go ahead with your plans and ideas. Alright, you're in the right position, so go ahead and do it, alright? Do something different. Do what you want to do. Don't let insecurity hold you back, Joni, alright? You're in a position where you can do it. You've got a youngster around you with a sharp tongue, okay? They're gobby. They'll get over it, but I've also got some education, so there's something you're going to do, whether that's actual education or whether that's in-work training, I don't know, but it's something that's going to help you to earn more money, alright? And for you, I have yoga. You are flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend, because others will soon become inspired by your example. Alright, Joni, I hope that makes sense. Samantha Craddock next. Samantha. Samantha, stop stabbing yourself in the back with everyone else's problems. You can't fix everyone. I've got a new beginning. I've got a new beginning of fantasies and fairy tales, okay? So it's a good new beginning, alright? But you do believe in karma, what goes around comes around, and you've been waiting a while for this. You've got a depression there that rises its head now and again, so it make a change for something to happen in your favour, alright? So that's good. I see you are going to leave other people's problems behind you, which is good, but you are going to have to do some training. So whether that's training as in learning or training as in on-job training, I'm not sure, but you are going to do some form of training. I've also got you not being able to see your way forward. It's like you're trapped by everyone else's problems. There is a way forward and you will find your way there, but you'd also like to change things. So that's just the way you are. You don't like things the same. But I've got the Fool, and the Fool's the Fool's journey, so you're stepping off the precipice and doing something different and something new. And that's going to work out well because you've got the world as a connection to it. So it's whatever it is you're going to take the chance of doing now, which is something different, is going to be positive, and it's going to work out well because you've got a good outcome with the world, all right? And in terms of your angel card, Samantha, we have Sonia. I bring you a message from your deceased loved one. I'm happy, at peace, and I love you very much. Please don't worry about me. That's the first time I've seen that come out today. So I'll leave everyone's love with you, Samantha. Is that it? Have I done it? No! No! I've got another one. Yvette McHugh Kelly. Yvette. Yvette, you've got the world, okay, which is great, alright, that's the top card, it's the very best one, okay, so things are changing for you, things are going to go the right way. You're fed up of being left in the middle, you're fed up of being Geneva. It's time for you to take a break from that, and you've got the world coming. So let that happen, alright? You're going to be more aware of spirit around you because you're going to be able to, the veil's thinning. So you're going to be more aware, you're going to know stuff's going on, you're going to hear, sense, feel, whatever, alright? You're going to be more aware. You are at the Fool, you've got the Fool, so the Fool's journey is all about stepping off the precipice and doing something different, alright? And you're ready to do that. So it's time for you to take that risk, take that chance, alright? Because the world is a positive outcome from it. However, you'd also, to change your fortune, you've also got the Wheel of Fortune, which means you have to learn from your mistakes or learn from other people's lessons that other people have given you as a result of, yeah? But you're more in control of your emotions than you have been for a long time, which is great. I see you've got a youngster around you who's very, very clever, but drives you mad because you just think you're so lazy because they don't have to think, they just know. And you are a good mum even though you don't think you are, so you do look after people, you do look out for people as much as your own, alright? And for you, I have Akasha. You're a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Caroline Twiggy next. Caroline. We may have to shorten next week because 3 hours and 3.5 hours is far too much reading time. Right. Caroline. Caroline, you've got to start leaving other people's problems behind you. Alright, because you are going to that, you're moving on. So there is fluidity, but to move on you have to let go of other people's problems because it's gonna cripple you if you don't. Alright? Or you'll never get that new beginning. You're stuck in the middle of people arguing and creating. Alright? I can see that you've got an older lady with a sharp tongue who's driving you mad. But I see that you're going to deal with that, and I see that you are very impatient. You want things to happen now. Alright, life's not always like that, unfortunately. We have to wait, but it's going to work out okay. You've been cheated on in the past, so you struggle with trust. And I see that, but I've not seen that happening now, but I'm seeing that as something, you know, try to believe that it's not happening. Don't let it bug you, alright? I've got you staying in too much, but you've got plans and ideas, which I understand because the Hermit is a wizard. But money's a mess, but it's there, alright? And stop worrying what other people think of you, Caroline. Chuck it in the fuck it bucket, alright? An angel card for you, I have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. Alright, Caroline, I hope that makes sense. Now I have Diane Reed Jones. Diane, you've got a pregnancy coming around you, alright, in the next year. You've got to stop stabbing yourself in the back with other people's problems. As much as this pregnancy will be wanted, you know, they need to stand on their own 2 feet, if that makes sense. You've got to stop juggling. You're juggling money, I understand that, we all are. But you've got a depression there which is quite deep and at times drives you mad. You've got a little girl in spirit who was never born, and she's naughty. She likes to hide things and be naughty around you. You've got somebody who's between 20 and 40 who rushes into things without thinking. They've got anger issues or some form of addiction or something that you're worried about, and they would benefit from some counselling. Alright, I don't know if that's possible, but I can see it's somebody you worry about. I'm also seeing a soulmate around you, okay? So that's good. Whether that's now, whether that's coming, I'm not sure, but it's there. I see money's a bit of a mess, but you're getting there, but you're more in control of it than you have been for a while. You've also got an older lady with a sharp tongue around you. Now, you're a great believer in karma, Diane, and what goes around comes around, and you will get your justice, okay? I understand you've been waiting for it for a while, but you will get it, okay? You keep an eye on your money all the time, but the Chariot tells me that it's time for you to go ahead. It's time for you to go ahead with your ideas and your plans and your things you want to do, all right? So it's time for you to do that. You're ready, you're powerful, and you're ready to do it. You need to believe in yourself enough to do it, all right? There's an older man, a grandfather around you who is looking out for you and is coming through in the cards as much as anything else, all right? And he's keeping an eye on you, and you've got the top card for happy families. So you don't get better than that, Diane, all right? And I see that you're enjoying working or doing what you do, all right? Which is good. Let's find a card for you, Diane. And for you, you have a special bond with animals. Your pets on earth and in heaven are watched over by angels, okay? I hope that makes sense. Well, that was a mission. 3 hours and a quarter of readings. I hope you all enjoyed your readings. I saw we had some jokers on there at one stage. You always get them. It's okay, we try and guard against them, but obviously we can't stop them coming on. Thank you, Sheila, for standing there and writing everyone's names down and making sure I get everyone's notifications, because obviously my screen just scrolls up and I just don't see them after about the first 5 minutes. People come on very early and they come on en masse, and you know, we had 37 in the first 5 minutes last week. I don't know how many we had this week, but it was mental. So obviously I've lost sight of who's on the list and I can't even scroll up anymore. So if it wasn't for Sheila sat in the background, sometimes admittedly face planting her keyboard where she's so tired, because we've done a ghost hunt the night before. We've done it, and I understand that these people have been booted and blocked, the ones that were playing up, so there you go. Anyone, feedback is always good. You know, if you enjoyed your reading, let us know. I've seen some people who have come on and said they've enjoyed their readings. As I say, it's all posted up on the page, so if you've missed your reading, try and go back. I know it means listening to me harping on forever again, but if you can work out roughly when roughly your reading would be, then you can work back. All right. Thank you for putting up with us. Meditation, I think potentially Tuesday next week again. And other than that, I will leave Spirit's love with you. Because I've dealt with them all morning. Alright? Lots of love and light to you all. I'm glad I've helped some of you. Alright, take care. See ya.